love Michigan sports. Red Wings, Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Michigan State, and the list goes on. And you love beer. Love beer. Who doesn't? What if we mixed the two together? This is State of My Sports. We'll talk everything Michigan sports, like only we do, and then we'll down our fair share of beer from a local brewery, grading the beer throughout the episode. So pop a cold one on your end, and we'll get busy on ours. This is the State of My Sports.
And this is episode 143. Today, we're going to touch on the latest NBA trade rumors for the Pistons before getting into all of the drama surrounding Michigan football program. Harbaugh stayed, others left. New coaches were named today. A lot going on. A lot to talk about. And then, what are we going to do after that? We're going to talk about the Senior Bowl. And if we have time, we're going to hit on the Brad Holmes and saying that they're open for business at 2 overall. We're going to talk about what potential suitors to trade up and what kind of return that could get. At the end, we will make our betting hero picks of the week and grade some craft beer from DeHop Brewing Company and Cafe. If you're joining us live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Twitch, please let us know in the comments. Be part of the conversation. Also, there's a share button, I think. I know there's one on Facebook. You can share it. I don't know if you can share on other platforms, but do it. Because that would be cool if we get people, like new people to watch. I think that would be really cool. We got a new person already that we're going to go into, but
nice.
Anyways,
I think you crushed that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whole thing
Before we jump in, I did want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors that help keep this thing rolling and free for our listeners: DeHop's Brewing Company and Cafe, Mac Web Design, and Betting Hero. They help us and you get the best promotions available in the sports betting world, especially with the Super Bowl coming up. We're going to talk the Super Bowl too. We got to kind of have to talk about the Super Bowl.
What's that?
I really want to break it down with Stafford and stuff, but you guys told me no.
Are we allowed to use that term?
Stafford?
Super Bowl.
I don't know. Are we allowed to use Super Bowl, John?
With Stafford in the same sentence. That's the question.
Are we allowed to use the word Super Bowl? Like they kind of limit that to a lot of people.
Well, they own the trademark, right?
Yeah. Anyways, I'm Sam Waltart. With me today, we got Ryan Waltart.
Hello.
Micah Smith. John Dornbos working behind the scenes. And that's it. Those are the only people joining us today.
That's all.
No, back.
Wait, who's that?
Back and better than ever. We got Kyle Fossey. Oh, my
Thank you,
gosh.
Sam.
He just clapped for himself.
You have the thing.
I do, yeah. No, but, dude, where have you been, man? What's going on?
I've been a lot of places.
Man, that's a cool story. All right, moving on to the NBA trade deadline.
He's not the king still, is he?
No, I won last year. I won the picks last year. He just keeps calling himself King Kyle. Really, though, how you
he
been,
didn't
Kyle?
participate last year. I mean, yeah.
I think he did. He did through text message.
I've
year too.
I've been swinging for the fences the last 3 weeks and struck out and went from what did we say? I was 1 point behind Mike and now I'm in dead last.
Dead last.
Whoa.
I jumped him. But we
Just-
got some big
just
picks
trying to-
coming up this week.
I'm just trying to make picks that I don't think anybody will.
It's either 8 picks or 9 picks.
Didn't you say the Super Bowl is worth 5 points?
Yes, if you get the game right, which I will, it's worth 17,000 points.
Ooh, wow.
Just kidding. It's
a
not.
big one.
Anyways, though, Kyle, honestly, I am curious, and everybody else is curious how you have been. You don't have to tell us why you've been gone or anything like that.
No.
Just tell us how you've been.
I've been well. It's been a busy winter. Not that we're done with winter and fall. A lot of sickness in my family. Kids in and out of hospitals. Things like that. And now after Sam fired me, we
you were on suspension. It wasn't a fire. It was
right. But then Vince started basketball, and I couldn't. So
he was suspended.
He fired me.
You're about to lose your privilege again.
I'm refired, rehired.
Refired.
I'm out of here.
Should interview. Never mind.
I thought it was short-term IR.
I was about to do the joke already, and it didn't work.
Something about retired?
Retired?
Oh.
Retired.
Retired.
All right.
Anyways, John, how are you, buddy?
Doing well.
Yeah?
Yeah, hanging in there.
Everything going good over on that side of the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
It's good to see you. I can see his eyes. He's like Mr. Wilson from
Tool
Home
Time.
Improvement.
Yeah.
I was called it Tool Time.
I was called it Tool Time.
I was Mr. Wilson for Halloween a few years back. Yeah.
Did you carry
I
a fence around?
Yeah, I made one out of a pallet at work.
Oh, boy.
I had this little strap that went around my shoulders and it like rested on my chest and it just sat there the entire time. It had 2 beer koozies on the back. I had beer bottles hanging from. Yeah, just taking sips. And
John got another haircut.
That's just smart.
I'm also kind of tall, right? So people already have a hard enough time like making eye contact with me, but I had it leaning just right to where nobody could see my face the entire night. And it was,
That's awesome.
it's
like wearing a
legit.
mask.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Yeah,
It was
you were ahead of the game on that
the
one.
pandemic before the pandemic. But
Anyways, we do want to talk some sports today. NBA trade deadline. That's what is it? Thursday? Do you know what time is it like 3:00 usually? But the trade deadline's coming up. There was actually a big trade today, and I wanted to write it down here, but look, me dumb at the basketball, don't know anything. But when this trade happened, and I don't know who the people were,
Dumb.
they were saying that this actually limits the ability for the Pistons because a lot of the guys that were moved in this trade were the potential suitors that would be moving to the Pistons with their Jeremy Grant, with a potential Jeremy Grant trade. Anyways, what I have here is according to Ian Begley of SNY.TV, the Pistons are among the teams that have shown interest in Knicks center Mitchell Robinson. Is that one of the guys that was moved today or no? You guys know anything about that?
I don't believe
I don't think
he was
so.
moved today. No.
No, it was not.
But Begley says it's unclear whether Detroit will try to trade for Robinson this week or if the team would only consider him in free agency. Anything about? I mean, there's other reports that kind of came out. This was yesterday as I was putting stuff together. Edwards of the Athletic. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he's going to be a unrestricted free agent at the end of.
So why
this
trade
year.
for him? You're not in like a.
Yeah, and that's more of like if they were interested in doing a sign and trade right now and longer term extension. But those are rare in basketball, I think.
Yeah. Well, they have
to match the contract.
Contracts. It gets so confusing. But then there was also talk about the Wizards, Kings, and Trailblazers are the teams that have exhibited the most interest in Jeremy Grant. They also said the Nets have also poked around, but are a longer shot to acquire the forward. Again, if someone could pull up the trade that happened, I don't know if these guys were even part of this. Again, this was yesterday when I was putting this together last night. So Woj said that the Pistons could wait until the offseason before moving Jeremy Grant. They don't have anything right now and regarding a satisfactory trade offer. So basically throughout the day, as some of these moves were happening, it sounded more and more like that. There's not going to be any trade, and then he might be a draft day trade or something along those lines. And I feel like they missed an opportunity last year when he was healthy and playing really good basketball. I think you could probably rewind to this time last year. I was mad that they didn't trade him at the deadline. It almost feels like with the injury that he just went through, maybe it's the better that you don't trade him because his value's probably at its lowest. Well, last year was at its highest. You got to find some kind of median there to get true value for him. I don't know where John and Ryan really have their ear on the basketball floor usually. But, what do you guys think about not moving him here at this deadline?
Yeah, I think it's fine. I don't think the Pistons should be in any kind of rush to move him because they're not going to make – he actually does make their team better right now with the current players they have. They have a young group, a young core that's trying to grow together. So if they add the right draft pick and keep him on the team, I think the organization, the most recent reports is that they're a little split at the top where some people want him long-term and they think he fits with the puzzle pieces we have. And he's that like veteran leader to be on the team long-term versus the people that say, no, let's move on from him while his value is high. But what does that value bring back in return? You're looking for a guy like Grant in the end, and I think Dwayne Casey is a firm believer that veterans win games in the NBA. So why go complete youth movement when you could have a guy like this? Like this is who you're hoping your young guys turn into.
I get that, but at the same time, do we want to be better this year? We're close to getting a potential luck of the draw, number one pick, top 3 pick, right? Like, do we really want to win more games just because? And then at the same time, it's like NBA players, whether he fits in your scheme or not, he's only as good as he wants to be in your scheme. He doesn't seem to want to be here. I think we kind of learned that when he went to the Olympics last year and started talking to all these other players. Those were what people were talking about. Do I have a bad perception of this just based on like his attitude, or I mean, I don't know. That's just what I hear.
He doesn't say a whole lot, does he?
No, he's pretty quiet.
He's a pretty quiet guy. I think he's kind of hard to read that way too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's also talking like big time extension already too. Like he
With
seems
who?
to be. He just wants money, is what he says.
With the Pistons.
He wants the big extension.
John, what do you
Yeah,
think?
I mean, I think we gave him and was it Mason Plumlee or one of the Plumlees? I
Yeah,
don't know.
Mason. Yeah.
Mason. We gave them, I think, like pretty identical contracts like 2 years ago, right? In free agency, and we've already dumped Mason Plumlee. We might as well hold on to Grant. If he's our veteran, that's a pretty nice veteran to have on the team. He's still pretty young and hitting his like peak right now in his NBA career. But I think you're building around Cade Cunningham. He's the future. And if they do land a top pick, they're going to probably draft size or trade back. And I'd rather see Jeremy Grant stick around.
You would.
But I've also
And you would
heard
too, Ryan?
rumors of like Detroit Piston trade talks back a few weeks ago for Ben Simmons. And they wanted to send Grant, Sadiq Bey, and a pick for Ben Simmons, who can't shoot the basketball.
Yeah. And has a bad attitude with his team.
So I'm kind of glad
Current
that
team.
I'm kind of glad that never happened, and transfold, because here we are, we still got our key youth players going into the future.
Yeah, and I see both sides because in Detroit, it's hard to get free agents. A lot of people don't want to come to Detroit, period, end of story, in any sport for that matter. It's rare. You have to overpay. You have to do all of those type of things.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Green definitely didn't want to, right?
Yeah.
So,
But then, so it's good that you have this guy, but at the same time, it's like, do you really want to overpay for him to stay?
Well, and I think that's an important thing to talk about right now, because his current contract is $20 million a year for 3 years. He's in year number 2 of this contract. The extension that he's brought up is a 4-year, $100 million contract. So that we're not talking about a super max or a max deal where somebody's asking for $40 million a year. We're talking about $25 million a year for a heck of a player. And not only that, but a guy that can fill a 3, 4, and sometimes even a 5 position on the court. I mean, he plays a really, really solid defense. He is capable of being a scorer. Now, do I want him to be my number one go-to Kobe Bryant type scorer? No, that should not be his role. It has been with the team so far, but with the emergence of Cade Cunningham and the potential top 3, top 4 pick coming into next year, I think if he is your number 2 or 3 offensive option on the court, you're in a really, really good position.
Do you think maybe he won't like that?
No, I think what he's always wanted is to be part of the course somewhere.
Sure.
So he came to Detroit to prove himself, how good he is in the league.
Yeah.
And I think the next transition from that is being a part of you can kind of grow your legend or grow your there's probably a better word for it, but
legacy?
yeah,
maybe?
thank you. Yeah, grow your legacy in a city if you turn something around. And I think
Sure.
that's the opportunity
That's
that
true.
he's seeing in Detroit right now.
Yeah.
Not only that, and I'll just say this one last. I think with Killian Hayes being such a disappointment that he's been, I don't think the organization should count on him being a part of the long-term future anymore.
Right.
I think it's too late for him. If he emerges as something, great. That's just extra, but that shouldn't be something you plan on going forward. So with that, now you have one solid guard, you have one forward in Sadiq Bey that they want to build around, and then they have like a role player type of player in Isaiah Stewart, but he's good for the team and the attitude and everything. I guess with Killian Hayes not working out, I think now they're looking to say we need a big and we need a guard still. So Jeremy Grant, if we lose him, there's still too much to rebuild.
Since we're at DeHop's, I'm going to do our DeHop's read for our beer introductions. Is that cool?
Let's rip.
Is that a good way to do it?
Yeah.
I want to remind everyone that DeHop's Brewing Company and Cafe is open and pouring some of the best craft beer in West Michigan. Their revamped food menu, rotating taps, wine and ciders make DeHop's perfect for whatever you have going on. From dinner with the family, late night drinks with friends, and everything in between, DeHop's is becoming a staple in West Michigan restaurant community that we highly recommend to our friends and listeners. Hit up Taco Tuesday, which consists of any taco for $2.50, and you can pair it with a margarita seltzer for only $3. They have a new Mahi Mahi taco, Not Your Father's grilled cheese, and smothered fries, which are all new to the menu this week. So DeHop's is the official brewery of State of My Sports, and if you mention State of My Sports, you get a nice little discount off your first beer. DeHop's, yeah, I mean, right? Thank you.
You said Mahi Mahi tacos?
Is that right?
That's a little tongue twister.
Mahi taco.
And I hit it, right? I nailed it.
Oh, yeah.
Mahi is very tough.
Followed up with a grilled cheese. I mean,
Literally two of the easiest words to say in the world.
it's like,
Mahi.
I think that was Cece's first word, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or 2 words.
When she was 4 months old.
Back to back.
Mahi.
Anyways.
Micah, what are we drinking?
Classic.
Tell everybody what we're drinking
Beer,
tonight.
buddy. You better start drinking a lot more.
Yeah, I know. This is I'm hurting over here.
Regrets this immediately.
No, so tonight,
No regrets.
No regrets.
provided by the wonderful DeHops, we're drinking White Rhino,
So this is their newest beer, I think.
one of their newest.
One of their newest.
Can you guys hear Micah? He seems really quiet.
Mike, is your mic on?
Yeah, it's on.
All
Is
right,
it?
got it.
He sounds great
Oh,
to
yeah.
me.
your headphones aren't even on.
Oh, I know, but I can hear him great.
I literally, all right, so I was set up and I forgot the splitter to split headphones. And I was like, do I really go home and get the splitter? Because Kyle's not going to wear his freaking headphones the whole time.
True.
But I still went home and got the splitter so we could do this.
Oh,
And
you
then
did? You ran home?
I went home.
You
Yeah.
still beat me?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I almost called you and he's like, hey, I'm on my way home. Do you want to ride with me? And I'm like, he's not ready to go. I'm just going to grab what I need and go. Or he's not going to answer. That would be my other.
Yeah, especially if I saw you.
Right. Like, yeah. He's,
Glee.
I literally just saw you ignore
Phones
my
don't
phone
do
call,
this.
Ryan.
Phones
I can
don't
see
do
you
this.
in your kitchen.
Did you eat a mahi taco?
No, I didn't. So that's the problem is it's not on their Taco Tuesday menu. So it's a
got it.
little.
Oh, yeah, you had dinner here. That's right.
I did, yeah. I had.
What kind of tacos did you get?
I went with the chicken and the beef. And they were good.
Staples.
And
Just
then
staples.
Peyton really liked the chicken one. Easton was in a bad mood, so I don't know what he liked and didn't like, but he was just in a bad mood.
That happens.
And-
Like father, like son.
I don't even know if Jordan was, like, he just talked so much, I don't even know if he ate anything. So
He just took it home in a doggy bag. He's going to eat it
he
later.
just keeps going. That mouth
Atta
doesn't
boy.
stop. So,
Atta boy.
yeah. All right, Micah, sorry, I interrupted you. Actually, Ryan interrupted you, and then I continued to interrupt
No, you guys really tag teamed it.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Good work.
The White Rhino's a 6.7%er. It's combining two distinct styles. This white IPA grabs hop bitterness and aroma from an American IPA and blends it with the smoothness of a Belgian wit beer, resulting in a citrusy, smooth, hazy white IPA brewed with Pacific Jade and Amarillo hops. And it contains wheat.
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 I think this is a great beer.
This is actually very good.
I'm really
I
impressed.
don't mean
This-
actually like I'm surprised, but like this is really
This
good.
reminds me a lot of Stand Delicious, to be honest. And I'd be interested to put them head to head because this one might be better than Stand Delicious.
More
Well,
citrusy.
You could put it head to head, but they sold out of
Yeah.
Stand Delicious.
Oh,
I know, I tried to
so
go in
you
too.
asked for a Stand Delicious version?
Yeah, Sam, we all
I
know you
didn't.
got up here at noon and you finished the last cup.
I
We all know
tapped
you
it.
got
That's
the-
why he had dinner here.
Yeah, he got the
Yeah,
last
yeah,
drop.
he finished it off.
There's a cooler full of cans. You guys didn't even turn around and look at that.
They did offer those.
Oh, they did? All right. So that's good. That's good.
Not
There you go.
the same.
So what do you guys think so far? I think it's got a lot of flavor.
Do we grade it now?
No, that's not how this
Okay,
works.
sorry.
That's not how
gotta
any of
be-
this
that's
works.
not how
I
any of
should
this
hit
works.
the button. Dang it. I
But
always
you said it.
try
you
to
can't
quote
say
it.
He
got a-
said he was good at the buffers today.
Oh,
it's got a
boy.
deep color though, right?
That's not
like an
great.
amber. Like,
Yeah, it's darker
yeah,
and
It's a
dark.
nice color.
it's more orangey than
Yeah.
Stand Delicious, I would say.
citrus.
Is that what it is? A lot of citrus in there?
That's what they told me.
Very
Orangey
nice.
also. Not
very,
a word. So.
very good.
Drinking craft beer, having fun, and talking sports in the state of Michigan. You're listening to State of My Sports.
I have no idea where this conversation is going to go, but we're going to talk Michigan football.
Welcome to the world. that
And
is
basically,
Michigan football.
the way I wanted to start it out is where we left off last week, when we were all basically ready to write off Jim Harbaugh.
See you, Jim.
Right?
You guys
we
were
thought he was
pissed.
gonna. I said something like, "If he gets on that plane, he's not coming back." Well, that was completely wrong.
You didn't want him back.
You were
said.
wrong. Yeah.
And no, I didn't say I didn't want him
Yeah, you
back.
did.
I
You
didn't.
said if he goes,
I said that off air.
You did say that off air, and I was like, "Why didn't you say that on air?"
I
Yeah.
did want him gone.
I didn't. I wanted him to stay.
I don't know, man.
Ryan says if he stays, it brings a lot of stability, and he'll be relieved because he just succeeded. I said if he signs a new contract and part of the deal is you cannot explore NFL again, I'll be happy and relieved. That's what I said. I didn't say I wanted him gone, for the record. I actually re-listened to this it was Sunday night when I was starting this whole sheet. I said, we can't lose Gaddis. He is so important to the program. And I don't know where that came from.
Do you feel different now?
A little bit.
Yeah.
So, all right. That's what happened last time we talked. And it looked destined to be like he was going to the Minnesota Vikings, and he had an in-person interview on Wednesday that was reported to be 9 hours long or something like that. Late in the evening, it was announced that he was heading back to Michigan, and the Vikings
He walked out of
hired
dinner.
Kevin O'Connell, who is the offensive coordinator for the Rams. What did you say?
He walked out of dinner.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have to tell me all about this because I didn't follow how the interview went or some of the inside sources with the Vikings.
Right.
To be completely honest with you, I don't know a whole lot about how it all went. There's a lot of he said, she said type stuff.
Right, that's
there
what I
were
wanna know.
rumors that it was there was a 6-1 vote of against Harbaugh, and then that was the thing. There's talk that Harbaugh went to this expecting to get a contract, and he never got an offer.
Well, he was expecting.
there's- There's another rumor of a minority stakeholder with the Minnesota Vikings that has personal displeasure with Harbaugh
Okay.
from past something or another, and that played into it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. And honestly, if the interview's 9 hours, I don't think if we sat around, if we had an open spot on the podcast and Jim Harbaugh, and we had to sit and have a 9-hour interview with this guy, I'd be like,
Yeah.
I don't think I can do it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think he has that personality that's like, yeah, I can't do this every day. You know what I mean? And I think the longer that it took when they talked to this guy, they're like, yeah, this isn't gonna. I don't think I can go 4 years with this guy.
Yeah.
Because that kind of what happened with 49ers too. Is he overstayed his welcome? He didn't
did.
have a good relationship with the most important people in the organization,
Right.
And it didn't end well.
I think maybe it was like one of those grass is always greener type things where the longer he was there, the more he realized what he was jumping back into.
So you think it's the opposite? You think it's more Harbaugh had cold feet, if you will?
No, I definitely think there was a personal thing because of the way he's commented since then. It sounds to me like there's a personal slight along the way, like, hey, just so you guys know, I'm going to be back forever. I'm never going to do this again. Almost like,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Did you?
Yeah,
Right?
I appreciate you guys. I understand what I have here. Something like that.
Did you guys hear any of the Mitch Albom interview?
I did not know.
The first interview he gave?
Oh, I might have a couple quotes from that. But
Okay.
Was there something in particular that you're going to
Well, I
bring
mean,
up?
yeah, he got on that plane expecting that the job was his.
Yeah.
That is why he got on the plane, right? They didn't end up offering the job.
Yeah.
I think another thing people miss with this is Jim Harbaugh always wants to act as his own agent. I think that's foolish. I think it makes him look. The optics on this from a casual football fan, which is what I am, right?
Yeah.
But and I don't listen to Detroit radio, but I listen to your big rate national syndicated shows,
And State of My Sports podcast.
and of course the podcast.
Live and on replay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Six times.
It's a laughing stock. It's a joke to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not saying Michigan's going to lose a bunch of games because of it. I'm not saying they're going to lose recruits. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just
The
saying
way it went down.
the optics of it are so bad.
I'm so glad you said that because it sparked something that I was thinking about last week when all this was going down. It's like,
That's my hot take.
sorry,
for the day,
what
by the
did
way.
you even say? I lost it.
I said, well, he should have an agent, first of
Yes,
all.
okay.
He should
thank
not
you.
be trying to be his own agent.
Yes, and it's not necessarily if he had an agent, it's not that the negotiations would have went better or anything like that. It would have been smoother from both sides because all of the crap would have been figured out before
Yes.
they had to
Yep.
tell Michigan. All of that would have been figured out before he got on a plane for a second interview. And all of that would have been taken care of because that's what the agents do. And you're right. He doesn't have an agent. He uses lawyers to negotiate the
Sure.
X's
And himself.
and O's, if you will. And himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's a really good point.
You had secretaries at U of M cleaning out their desks and offices because it was a done deal. If he has an agent, that agent's main job is to say to him, oh, hey, by the way, I talked to the Vikings. This is not a done deal. You're going to interview for this job. Oh,
Exactly.
I just feel like that's
Coaches
such a
and coaches do that all
small
the time.
thing
It's
that
like,
could help him.
Yeah.
You know.
it's like the agent puts out the feel. The
Sure.
coach doesn't have to do that.
No.
Harbaugh had to do that himself.
Yes.
And that's the biggest issue. He better get an agent and figure out correctly. He can do this year in and year out as long as we don't know about it.
Yeah.
And that's what the agent's supposed to do. They put out the field. It's like, are you interested? Because we might be interested. He might be. But it's like the coach is like, he's sitting at the podium. No, I will not be Alabama football coach because he didn't talk about it. But his agent is. His agent's doing all the work. And like that is a really key part that I think that I missed on the sheet at least. But yeah.
And then if the stakeholders have mixed opinions, then they can go back and say, well, this kind of offer is what they're expecting, but it's not even a real offer yet because there's animosity within the room. Like,
exactly.
There's not a clear picture from the Viking side.
Yeah, and think about it from that standpoint. Like, when else do you hear like, okay, this guy's Micah is going to go interview for a job, but like you guys said, if he gets on that plane, he's gone. It was kind of
and we shouldn't know
why
about
was
the
that?
plane.
Why did we even know about all
We
this
shouldn't know
stuff?
about
Why
the
did
plane. We shouldn't know about the first interview. We shouldn't know about the second interview. We
I
shouldn't know
agree.
about any of that.
No.
Because who do we know interviewed for this Vikings job? Jim Harbaugh. I'm sure a minority because you have to. Other than that, do you know anybody else that really applied for it other than O'Connell who got it? Or is it O'Connell? Yeah, Kevin O'Connell.
Well, they didn't because he's coaching the Super Bowl. They haven't actually
They hired him. Yeah,
hired him. Yeah,
exactly. But it's just like, other than that, why don't we know that Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator applied for this job? Why don't we know any of those things? Because they have agents that know how to cover this crap up. And that, man,
the whole situation was very fascinating to me. I think that's why, like, I read
as
stuff. Like,
as an outsider, I would love it if this was going down to Michigan State.
And it wasn't like I don't even mind Jim Harbaugh. I don't.
No,
I've always said that to you. Like, I don't like. He's quirky for sure. Apparently, he's hard to work for. Well, guess what? Great people are often hard to work for.
He's a weirdo, but he's our weirdo.
He's kind of a weirdo. Like, yeah, but I just think he really screwed the pooch on this deal and didn't do himself any favors. And I don't think it necessarily reflects poorly on the university. Maybe a little, like 90-10, something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I do have some quotes that came out since then. So Harbaugh said that there was a tugging. Somebody want to read this for me? Because Brian?
Yeah,
read it?
Harbaugh. Ready?
I already killed it with my reading.
Can you read it in like a quasi like sexual way though? Like
No.
lower your voice and then
No, that's all you got.
like hey.
I think you're asking for something I'm not going to give. So just
A little.
Well, not the first time I've heard that.
no means no.
A little tug of war on a Tuesday.
See, he gets it.
Yeah.
John gets it.
He didn't say no. So.
Tug of War Tuesday.
All right, how about
The
ready?
first two lines.
There was a tugging at me that I was once that close to a Super Bowl and I didn't get it. Some NFL jobs came open. I was contacted by the Vikings. For better or worse, it was something that I wanted to explore. I went in thinking I'm going to have 100% conviction on this. And if they, meaning Minnesota, have 100% conviction on this, then it's something I'm going to do.
Just go on to the next one. Might as well.
I called Ward Manuel, the Michigan athletic director, and I asked him if he wanted me to be the head coach. And I asked him if he wanted me to be the head coach. And he said, yes, 100%. And I said, okay, then that's what I want to do. And I told him, Ward, this is not going to be a recurring theme every year. This was a one-time thing. They were not as enthusiastic.
No, read that one yet.
Good grief.
Cut that out, John. I'm just kidding. No, but so what do you think about all of that? That was it sounds like he was ready to pull the trigger, and they weren't ready to pull the trigger on him. And then
I think when he had his 9-hour meeting, he realized that they weren't totally into him like he was into them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't feel good.
And now he comes crawling back.
Well, that doesn't feel good because Michigan was 100% into him.
Yeah, they were. And then actually, you can read that last quote because it kind of ties things in.
Sure? We don't want you to yell at him again.
No, if I don't like it, I'll
Here we
just
go in 3, 2, 1.
throw a fit.
They were not as enthusiastic about Jim as he was them.
Hurtful.
Yep.
That
Sounds like-
So now here we
Sounds
are.
like Sam's high school dating.
So Minnesota was
Yeah, that sounds about right. No, I only had one girlfriend in high school.
That's right. Yeah.
And
Safe
I
to
married her. Didn't let her go.
safe to say that Minnesota was unsuccessful at flipping his commitment.
Yeah, see, I don't. You think so? Do you really think so?
It's just-
Honestly,
it was
He's
a play
totally
on
joking.
National Signing Day.
Yeah, I look at this and I'm like,
Ba-dum.
Harbaugh does
Missed
not want to be here,
I do too.
and that scares the crap out of me.
Wait, hold on. This tells you
didn't want to be here.
did not want to or
Didn't.
still does not. Because that's going to be the conversation.
That's
going
to be the conversation. And we're going to do this every year. Because
He just said we're not going to do it every year.
I know,
He
but
lied.
we're going to. and the reason why we're going to is because other programs, other recruiters are going to use this against Michigan until they can't deal with it. You know what I mean? Like, I need to see the contract. I need to know what the payout is, or the buyout. So what does Harbaugh have to pay Michigan if he leaves? That's what I need to know. That's where I'm going to be like, okay, he's not going anywhere for the next 5 years, and I'm comfortable with that.
Can I
Because
ask a
then he's
question?
too old for NFL anyways.
Now, reports, like it all is with this stuff, right, are saying that he already had that contract. That contract has already been placed in front of him. I think, and this is just me, I don't think he liked having his pay cut like he did last year. And you can say, well, he gave into it and he did the right thing.
There's also rumors that he was the one that proposed it in a way. But again,
but I think it was that, or like, hey, the seat's getting really, really hot here. And I think there was some spite here. You can't deny, like, the optics of the National Signing Day thing is not a big deal. It got made into a bigger deal than it is, but also, why did you do it? The class is already set, right? The vast majority of it?
yeah, on signing day, I think is just a small piece that's a little overrated, personally.
I agree, but why not just say to the Vikings, what was National Signing Day, Wednesday?
It was Wednesday.
Yes.
What, the day
Why
it
not
was in.
just say,
Let's do this Thursday.
Tuesday or Thursday are the days, because the optics are so
It would have
bad.
been a
I
better
look.
look.
It would have been better look. The optics, yeah. The
And
look
do
would have been
Do you
much
think
better.
Jim has ever cared about optics?
No, probably not.
Absolutely
That's a
not.
good
But it makes him look.
Yeah, but I don't care. I don't think he cares about how he looks. I
Yeah.
don't think he cares about how Michigan looks in this. I don't think he actually considers any of that. And
Do you
that's
like
part of his
that,
personality. No, I think it's just him. That's part of having him on board.
I guess the way I look at it is optics are basically everything in college football.
Perception is
Because
reality.
You have a lot of kids.
No,
that
winning
are-
is everything.
But we just won.
Yeah.
But what are the optics saying of this team right now?
It's not good.
Okay.
What do you think the whispers are around NCAA football recruiting when you're trying to get these players to commit or not? Not even this class, but the class that's next. You know what I mean? Like the juniors, the people that are going to be juniors next year in football. Like that's what I'm more concerned about is what are the optics of this organization? And we're going to be talking about Gaddis here soon, and that kind of pull it all together with the optics. But I mean, I don't want that because I think the optics are huge.
I think Jim Harbaugh has been one of the most honest coaches that we've ever seen in this era in recent years. And I really, truly believe that when he says that he was looking for an opportunity, he was thinking about a Super Bowl and kind of, like maybe reminiscing and looking for an opportunity. I think this was the year to do it because of how Michigan turned around. He wasn't going to get those offers if he was a failed college coach.
Now. Yeah, he's hot.
He was taking advantage of his opportunity right now. And then he goes and looks, oh, you know what? I actually didn't even interview with very many jobs, even though there were tons of openings. And then when the Vikings won, and I thought that was a thing, they didn't even extend anything. He got butthurt about the whole situation. He goes crawling back to Michigan and says, hey, sorry, the grass isn't greener. I'm with you guys. I'll never do this again. I think he has been the most honest and open about this from the beginning. It's everybody else talking that's messing this up.
I just don't think you can be that honest as an NCAA football coach.
Well, that's his personality.
And that's I think the biggest problem is you have to be a very good liar.
You do.
To be successful in the NCAA. You do. These guys lie through their teeth. They talk out of both sides of the mouth. The most successful ones do, at least. Like they're not telling the truth 50% of the time because they have to they have to keep everybody focused on them.
Oh, go ahead.
The fact that he said this is not going to reoccur is a bold-faced lie. The NFL averages 7 open coaching vacancies a season.
Right.
There was 9 this year. So what's telling you that he's not going to score another interview or have a better opportunity out there? I don't think Minnesota was the best place to go.
But there were 9 and only 1 was interested, it sounds like.
That's what I'm saying.
Even a
didn't even get an offer.
6-1 interested against. You know what I mean? Only 1 GM was interested.
And maybe
allegedly.
he realizes now that I 100% agree with John. That's a bold-faced lie. But I think he can hide behind that lie or whatever you want to call it, knowing that okay, there was 9 this time, only 1 came calling, I didn't get the job. I might not get interest from that many more, and I'm hot right now.
Yep.
And can they repeat? Can they have the same season again? They could, sure, but
They're probably going to. It's a pretty easy schedule.
Yeah, not bad.
What do you have? 17 home games
I think at least
in a row.
I think Micah's been trying to jump in for about
Sorry,
45
Mike.
minutes.
Ever since he introduced,
I think we're past the point.
Yeah.
Wade.
John needs to just cut my mic.
Ever since he introduced the beer.
Yeah. I'm going to throw something at you, Micah, because you're still not talking. But
Go for it.
wide receiver recruit. What's one of the bigger wide receiver recruits? names?
Xavier Worley.
Different
Is
one.
that who you're talking about? The one that went to Texas?
No.
That's who I was talking about.
No.
We're
That's
talking?
signed with Michigan this year. That's signed with Michigan this year.
Is that the one that sent out the tweet that said
Hasn't-
like
Tyler Morris, who
No.
played with JJ.
No, I don't think so.
Wide receiver,
What?
Michael
Yeah.
Irving.
All right. Anyways, there's a wide receiver, a high-profile wide receiver
Irving.
recruit that went to Michigan, that signed with Michigan this year. Jim Harbaugh told him in December, "I'm feeling out the NFL. And Josh Gaddis will not be there long, most likely."
Oh wow.
He was very honest about that, and he said, "If you want to be at Michigan, you have to understand you're going to be at Michigan, and not for me, and not for Gaddis."
It's important. Yeah.
And he is that upfront about, and honest with his recruits, and I think parents especially appreciate that. So that's something that he can go. But that kid signed anyways because he bought into the Michigan atmosphere, the renewed Michigan excitement, all that kind of stuff.
But that's
it was
one
not down to one offensive coordinator, one head coach.
that's one thing that I'll disagree with though. Is
No,
parents
that was a true story.
No, but and that might be a true story. It very well may be. But I disagree that
Hold on.
the majority of parents don't say, "Yeah, go here," and I don't know who's going to control my kid next year. They're selling, a coach is selling himself to the parents just as much as the player, right? They really are, because you need to sell yourself that, hey, I'm going to take your 18-year-old kid and I'm going to protect him. I'm going to do what's right, and I'm going to lead this kid to be a good student, be a good football player. That's what they're selling to their
Or a
kids.
murderer, but
So, yeah, but that's what a coach does. So a coach saying, hey, I don't know if I'm going to be here in 2023 when your kid's going like a sophomore, just getting close to being able to drink and all of these crazy, going through all these crazy stuff in his life. I don't know if I'll be there. I don't know if the
freshman
other
never
offensive
drink.
coordinator will be there, but at least the University of Michigan will be there. And then whoever they hire will be there. Like that, as a parent, I'd be like, no.
But
sorry.
they still decided to send him there.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
one. That is one.
So?
Because look, okay, a lot of people will choose the Michigan education over.
I'm just
everything.
saying.
And
Even with recruits, he was upfront and honest about his intentions, and he's not just going around telling people lies.
Okay,
And that's how you lose credibility.
There's reports.
that's
out there
also
that-
how you build a really good football program. Is lying.
There's reports out there. What?
What are the reports, Micah? Report it.
There's reports out there that he was that brutally honest with his staff, with the current players.
He was. Yeah.
And I can't. I wish I had the quote in front of me, but he told one of his players that he's going to explore the Vikings' opportunity, and the player said, "Great, because that's how you hope for us when we want to go to the NFL. You're there backing us 100%, and we're going to back you 100%," which is a great thing to see from a player to a coach and a coach to a player. I do get where you're coming from.
I get all of that, but I would rather only hear lies. Especially to recruits. I would rather hear a butthurt recruit that jumped ship because he felt like he was lied to. At least we had an opportunity. Because, yeah, that's a great example. This one wide receiver or whatever it was is a great example of when it can be beneficial. But I think you're going to lose 9 recruits to that one that you get respect from. That was probably going to come there either way because he wants to go to the University of Michigan, get the education, and that's important to them as a family, necessarily football.
some respect.
Because you're going to be lying.
Respect.
Like, most of the football players that you want to get to be successful need to be lied to. They are there for football only. That's it. That's the only thing they care about, and that's perfectly fine. But you need all. I would rather have the 9 recruits say that we lost than the one that we gained in that scenario. Because I believe, this is just my opinion, that you lose more being brutally honest about, hey, I might not be here in 2 weeks after you sign the dotted line.
Except it was true.
I know, and that's very well possible. I mean,
Now, I'm just saying, now he can go back to the locker room and stand in front of all of his players and say, I was upfront and honest with you guys. And if he can honestly say also that I'm here for the long haul, then he doesn't have to worry about losing the locker room. He doesn't have to worry about this year after year unless he does something, but it doesn't matter. Even because he was honest up front and it turned out to be true, he's gained their credibility with the players, and that goes a long way.
Especially when it comes to the transfer portal.
I played for a coach that I didn't trust at all. That it didn't matter. And then I played for a different coach that I trusted 100%. And there's a big difference there. So for the players coming in, the players that were there when they got an honest, situation from his perspective, and then it came true, and then he's back. Like, he can stand up there, say something to them, and they're going to buy in. I don't think they've lost.
He can face them.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't disagree with that. I really don't. I just see another side that I think needs to be talked about. That's basically what I've been trying to propose.
Well, the argument just turned 2-1 because longtime listener of the show, Carrie, agrees with Ryan here.
Look at that.
Her question for you, Sam, is don't you not respect Aaron Rodgers because he lied about being jabbed, if you're talking about lying and being honest?
I think there is so much lying in sports in general that I'm numb to it. I don't care. But when people are going to praise a guy like Aaron Rodgers for being quote-unquote honest when he wasn't honest.
I didn't think we were talking about Aaron Rodgers.
The question was brought up.
Oh, okay.
Then
it's
I'm not
pronounced
going to
Stafford.
He lied about it and tried to live his life as a vaccinated person, as an unvaccinated person in the NFL. That's where I disagree with what he was doing, personally. I don't know why I'm getting this. But
What?
anyways.
I think it all matters about his staff moving forward, which is going to translate to the players.
Sunday morning comes around. Gaddis is leaving for Miami. Ryan, we were sitting at church.
Yeah.
We were talking in the lobby.
Yep.
Having a nice conversation.
Yeah.
And then you say, Gaddis is leaving?
I got a buzz. On my phone.
You got a buzz on your phone. Gaddis is leaving for Miami?
Oh, I thought you said you had a buzz at church.
I thought that too.
Both can be true.
Might have been a little hangover. I mean, who knows? There was communion, so.
Yeah, there you go.
Take what you can get.
It was the white stuff.
But all right.
Sam got in line twice.
So this is honestly, this is how weird this
Didn't
all.
eat the bread just to feel it more.
Yeah,
Got anything stronger?
I didn't want any of the carbs cut on.
Put it in his pocket for later.
Took the shot
A
on the
family
way
of
home.
10, by
Boxed
the
or
way.
bottle.
In case he gets the munchies on the way home.
But the funny thing is when he had that whole conversation, we were sitting there in the lobby talking, and you said, Gaddis is leaving for Miami? My brain went to Miami Dolphins. I was like, because I didn't even think about the University of Miami or Miami University, whatever they're called.
Because
it was
demotion.
It was
It's the U.
so I'm just thinking, all right,
Because it's a demotion.
Miami Dolphins. I'm like, that makes sense. I mean, they're going through all the changes that they had a new coach. I don't know if they probably already hired these guys. It doesn't matter. But I'm just going through it. I'm like, all right, good for him. I mean, he's gonna go move up to the NFL. And then I'm kind of scrolling through.
Miami, Ohio.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through the
Option number
the
2.
Facebook and stuff, and people are like, a lateral move. I'm like, did you guys not realize this isn't a lateral move, moving OC in the college to OC NFL? I'm just like, these
deal.
guys are really
Right, that's a promotion.
These guys are really thinking
He plays on
Michigan's
Sundays.
a really good program, lateral move. These guys are idiots talking here. And then probably
Come to find out who
probably
was.
it probably took me to 2:30, 3 o'clock. Then I'm like,
The Miami
Oh.
Heat. The Miami Heat.
the Hurricanes. That's a lateral move, and now I'm mad. I was pretty angry about it. So
Yeah.
I mean, it just got
Not me.
That's the final piece of what it was, and I think we went into all of the Harbaugh stuff, wondering if he's burning bridges, if he's causing all these issues. How many fences is he going to have to mend when he comes back crawling? Because Ward Manuel might accept it, but is Coach X, Coach Y, and Coach Z going to accept it? Is player A, B, and C going to accept it? That's what I'm more worried about, not necessarily Ward Manuel, who has his hands tied anyways because he doesn't have a president of the university yet. right? I mean, like,
Where's he?
it's kind of like, weird wait and see mode that he doesn't have enough power to sign or fire a guy. I'm not worried about Ward Manuel. I'm worried about everybody that matters in the football program. And then when all
Starts
this
at the top.
happened, it just made me think, like, holy smokes, something wasn't right. And the optics of this is absolutely terrible. And does Gaddis know something that we don't? Or all of these emotions are going on, and I don't
Sour grapes, you said?
Yeah, I mean, does he have sour grapes going on? Like, I don't know. So I got to use the restroom, but I want you guys to start this conversation. And then when I come back and I'll feel like I missed out, we'll start it over. Does that work?
Oh, that's the worst.
That's great.
Just pee in your pants.
All right, Ryan.
Kyle, hit a bumper.
Somebody. No, let's not move on. Somebody talk.
Jaws.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
think
Bum,
with
bum,
with
bum,
Gaddis
bum.
leaving though,
Boom,
I-
boom, boom.
I don't have there. I don't know. I think I thought he was very important to me with the program, and then
Yeah.
with the news of him leaving, it didn't hit me as hard as I
Then you were
thought
like,
it would. And I think the reason is the context, why he's leaving, and some of the leaked information of what we learned since then, with his attitude towards Michigan overall.
Let me ask you guys this. Do you think when they thought he was, and John, you too, when they thought Harbaugh was gone, he wasn't on that short list, and that's what made him upset?
I think he was on the short list. He was on the tail end of the short list.
Okay, gotcha.
That's what I think.
I think Michigan made it very clear where he was on the totem pole there.
Sure.
For the head coaching job, and that is what, yes, absolutely made
Yeah,
him made
it
him
seemed,
mad.
he seems spiteful now.
Yes. Well,
Yeah,
Michigan
yeah.
had to move on, right? Michigan
Yes,
had to
absolutely.
assume with
Yeah.
all the reports that, like we all thought, Jim Harbaugh was gone. He was going to the
Yeah.
Vikings. They had to plan.
Yeah.
They cannot just sit there and wait for news.
No, they got to spring into action.
They have to plan right away. So
Yeah.
the planning already started. They
Right.
went from person to person. They had their totem pole, and they made their intentions clear.
Yeah.
And Josh Gaddis was not a part of that plan
No, I think you're right.
as
I
head
do.
coach.
I think
And-
you're
and
right.
That hurt him more than anything. And I think not only that, but also the extension. So there are reports out there that he only got like roughly $100,000 bonus, or not even a bonus, but an increase in salary
Okay.
going into next year. So in combination, after having a great year and getting to the team where they, where they got to in the playoff and everything, he only got a $100,000 plus whatever raise, mixed with not being the top of the totem pole for a head coaching job to replace Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
He didn't see that as valued.
Yeah, sure.
And I think it's important with the, mix that with the text that was leaked, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you wanna
Someone
hit
wants
that?
to read that.
Yeah. So he released so he sent a mass group text to 20 plus Michigan players.
So they all have iPhones, otherwise it wouldn't work, right?
Right. So all the Android were cut out, but all the rest.
John, is that how it works?
20?
I do have a droid.
Yeah.
That's apparently a lot of droids
I think
on
I
the
think
team.
it was 26 or 27. That's what I heard at least. Sent to Michigan players, and this is what the text said. Unfortunately, the past few weeks has told a different story about me to the very little appreciation I have here from administration. Wow. In life, I would never advise anyone to be where they are not wanted. So he's telling them that the past few weeks he's learned that the story about him, that they don't appreciate him.
Yeah.
The reason I have a problem with this text is it 100% lacks any context at all. So now he has summed up the entire situation that the administration is having to deal with right now, with all the unknowns with Jim Harbaugh that they're dealing with. That's not an easy situation for Michigan to go through. No. They're trying to plan all this, interim, things after the coaching carousel has already been completed.
Mm-hmm.
And now he is saying like they don't want me here. Like they're almost like Michigan's forcing me out. That's not even true. That's not a true statement if they're forcing him out.
Do you think that's not true?
Yeah, I think that's
Because
not true.
That they forced
because
him
earlier,
out?
No, they offered him a raise.
Yeah.
but earlier you were saying that Gaddis might not be here long term, right?
No.
You said
What-
that.
no,
You said
Jim
you said
knew that.
Harbaugh used that as a. I'm wondering if something else was going on that we aren't aware of. And look,
Like what?
I have no idea.
Okay.
What was he doing? What was he saying behind Jim's back? You know what I mean? Like there's some stuff that very well may have happened. That because if you're saying like your story about
What
Jim
stuff are we
Harbaugh
talking
being
about?
honest, right?
Yeah.
And saying you're not committing to me because I might not be here. I'm kind of interested in the Minnesota job. Gaddis might not be here. Why did he already know that Gaddis might not be here? You know what I mean?
Well, what we know is that Jim Harbaugh has praised Josh Gaddis and did not fire him when he had plenty of opportunities to fire him. And when he did his whole coaching change, where the defense was completely changed, and we know all the new coaches and fresh blood he brought in last year, Josh Gaddis was not one of those guys. He kept him there. And Gaddis, when he won all of his awards at the end of the year, praised Jim Harbaugh for believing in him. So I wouldn't go that route. I really wouldn't, just because of I guess the trust that he showed in him. And that's a 100%. We know that he trusted him because he kept him. He had opportunities to fire him.
So back in December 12, 247 Sports, the ones who release all the rankings for the players, they printed an article of 12 intriguing offensive coordinator options for Mario Cristobal, and Gaddis was on that list. So somewhere amongst the coaches, they knew that Gaddis might be available for one reason or another.
We know Gaddis's intentions. He doesn't want to be a coordinator. He wants to be a
head
coach. That's always been his intention.
He was close to getting, was it the Virginia job?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He interviewed for that, and that's what Jim is talking about.
Duke.
This year he interviewed for that. So Jim is out there telling recruits, look, if you're coming here, Josh Gaddis is a talent in the industry. He's a growing name in the industry. He's not going to be here long.
Now it's remarkable, though, with Jim's coaching tree over his last 6 to 7 years, it is massive how many coaches have moved on from this program into a promotional role of head coach, assistant coach, whatever it is. And it's kind of sad and disheartening to see a man make such a lateral move.
Sure.
See,
Again, that goes back to he didn't feel valued because he saw Miami's offer versus Michigan's offer. I also heard that there are reports that he's not going to twist your arm. He's not a negotiator in his contract.
Talking about Gaddis?
He says, value me. What's your number?
Yeah.
And so he didn't go back to Michigan and say, well, Miami's offering me this. Michigan was flying blind. They were cheapskates in the whole thing, really. And they said, this is the offer. And he said, you guys don't want me here.
but at the same time, the coordinators' contracts are valued when the head coach gets a new contract. That's all worked out there. Without Harbaugh's new contract being signed, why is he moving now? Why is he not waiting for Harbaugh to get a new deal and seeing what kind of raise that would turn into? Because a lot of these head coaching negotiations are all about taking care of their coaches, taking care of their coordinators, and making them feel valued.
I'm telling you,
he didn't even give them a
back.
chance to, though.
No. I'm telling you, he got an offer from Miami. He countered Michigan. Michigan gave him a counter offer, but they without knowing the number, and it wasn't even close to Miami's.
Okay.
And I think, while there is that pool mentality of that money, I think you still have an idea, though. You know what I mean? Like, he knew he was going to get about 150,000 more per year, which, I still think
It's an amazing contract.
no kidding. Yes, that's more, by the way. Yeah. That's not just a starting place. Yeah. And it's kind of like, I think on top of that, while you were taking a poop, I asked them, do you think that he wasn't on the short list when they were like, Harbaugh's gone? And they were both kind of like, well, I think he was on the list, but he was at the bottom, more towards the bottom. And that might have, all the turmoil, that could have been
what do you think?
That's enough. Like,
I'm assuming he knows something that we don't. Whether it was who they were going to hire if and when Harbaugh left, or is Harbaugh really bought into this, or is Gaddis just in a wait-and-see mode with Harbaugh?
Dodging the question like a politician. Well done.
I thought I answered it. What do I think?
Specifically, this question. Do you think
what
he
was
was
the
on the
exact
short
question?
list?
think if they had
Not
3
on
to
the
4
short list.
coaches,
I think
was
he was on the short
list?
list. I think he was on the short list.
At the forefront? At the bottom?
I don't think a short list is presented to the list, to the people on the list. You don't say, oh, well,
Oh, no, but
this guy's here, this
no,
guy's here, this
but-
guy's here.
Not at all. Like in your head.
I personally think if Harbaugh left, Gaddis would be the head coach of the University of Michigan right now. I really do.
I don't think at all. And
don't
I
think
think
at
that's
all.
why he was mad about the whole thing.
I guess,
do too.
yeah, I don't know.
I think that
I
was
see it completely
that
different.
kind of maybe pushed him over the yeah.
I think, and
Why all
personally,
the talk about Mike Hart?
the way I would have been furious if Mike Hart was the head
So
coach.
insiders,
He's got no-
Michigan insiders,
I know you guys
talked-
like him, but
Michigan
yeah.
insiders talked about Mike Hart and I can't remember if it was Matt Weiss or if it was Sharon Moore
For what?
for the next head coach to replace Jim Harbaugh. Sorry, as the short list, the two guys they were trying to decide between.
How quickly they came up with so we can get into that. But so what they did is they quarterbacks coach Matt Weiss is the OC, right? Co-OC
Now.
with Sharon Moore. They're both co-OCs now. Is that what we're seeing?
Sharon Moore will be the OC. Matt Weiss will be the co-OC. I don't know
how did they name that so quick? Because they already had this in place of promoting Gaddis and promoting these guys. That's what it screams to me. And if the fact that Mike Hart wasn't promoted to co-OC, which we'll get into that here shortly about co-whatevers,
Right.
I'm not happy about it.
Sure.
Wow,
Alabama's
they already had a picture of what this was going to be without Jim Harbaugh, without Josh Gaddis. That is on paper. Somebody knew something that we didn't. Whether Gaddis knew that they were not really thrilled with him, or the fact that he was expecting to get this head coaching job. They told him, you are good enough to be a head coach in the NCAA. You are good enough to be the head coach of the University of Michigan.
They told Gaddis that,
let's say they told him that. And all of a sudden they pull that from him and then like, oh, well, Harbaugh's coming back, so here's your somewhat raise that he's unhappy with. That's what it screams to me.
That could be too. That could be so.
Is here's your promotion.
It's kind
of like the other side of the same coin.
No, but I get that. But,
You know what I mean?
Michigan
It
insiders
both works.
are also
Yeah.
known to being very close to the vest, like very careful about what they say, and they're all kind of paid by. So I'm not saying I know something they don't. I'm just saying that's my perception of it. Is here's going to be your raise as the head coach. You're going to have this. You're going to have that. Oh, but Harbaugh just came back, so here's your OC raise for winning the
really,
OC of the year.
You think Gaddis was just flat out mad that Harbaugh showed back up in Ann Arbor, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I thought they were buds though.
To a certain extent, I'm sure they are.
Harbaugh was
for everybody to see. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Harbaugh really liked him and really, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That could have
easy
grown
to
distant over the
put that front on.
3 years.
It does happen. Yeah.
So I guess like I feel like we need to put a bow
on this.
Yeah, sure,
an
sure.
hour and a half later.
Well, on Harbaugh specifically, because we still have a whole bunch of coordinators to talk about. But like overall, I understand that there are feelings that this was a cluster and is a bad look for Michigan. The optics aren't smooth. Overall, what are your feelings about keeping Harbaugh versus and losing Gaddis? Because that's the real. And look, we lost Mike McDonald. We were going to lose him anyway.
Yeah,
he's
was
an
already
NFL
gone.
guy.
He was already gone.
And we kind of knew that.
Yep.
But Harbaugh and Gaddis, how do you feel about this situation now?
Heading into this year,
No, right now. After all of the dust is
The
cleared,
dust settled. Yeah.
what do
I'm
you
very
feel?
uncomfortable. I'm very uncomfortable with how everything played out. I don't like it at all. I don't like that Harbaugh wanted to leave as bad as he did, because I think it's pretty obvious that he did. That scares the crap out of me. Now, do I think Harbaugh's a bad football coach? No. And
He's not a bad, no.
my perception of him in that way hasn't changed at all. But I also think that he's selling himself and his program to people way more than me. He's selling his program to kids and parents that are like all about
Some JJs.
yeah, but all about this is our team. Like I don't know, like, and if you're half in, half out, in my opinion.
But we've been through that. We've been through that.
Okay, but I thought that you wanted to ask my opinion, like how I feel as this dust
No,
settles.
I think what he's saying is right past that. We're past that now. I get both sides of what you're saying, but I think he's asking like moving forward. This is kind of day one back into this.
All right.
You have an OC, you have a DC, you have a head coach.
Not the half in, half out, like the player's perspective or anything like that. How do you feel about Michigan keeping Jim Harbaugh as head coach, losing Josh Gaddis as OC? You know the replacements. We haven't completely gotten into it, but
Did he say half dry, half wet?
That
week?
compared to Harbaugh gone.
Yeah.
I am thrilled that Harbaugh is back. Thrilled. And I don't think losing Gaddis. I don't.
Did he ever leave? You're glad that he's back? I mean, he's been the
He
coach,
left.
right?
I'm glad that he's
as an outsider, that was. I'm not an outsider, but like I think the national media agreed. I don't watch a lot of football. I'm not going to lie to you.
You're an annual guest.
Yes, yeah. The part that I think people really made fun of on your national shows was when he says he's coming back and they post like this, or they posted something that was like they just hired a new coach. He didn't hire a new coach. He came back like from a day trip to Minnesota. Like,
I mean, you can take the ferry across, right? Still,
Right.
I know it's cold. But they got an icebreaker. Like, it's not like he went around the world and contemplated taking over a different continent. You know, it's just like the
Watch
Vikings,
out for those
man.
ice floats.
He probably got there and he said Kirk Cousins, and then they were like, "No, his name's Kirk." And
Kirk.
he was gone.
It's Kirk. Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Kirk.
The bow is tied. Tape it to the box.
I am happy as a Michigan fan. I am.
That would be too.
I am nervous of the perception, and I'm not. I'm not nervous about the perception of what people think of the teams that I love, but in this scenario, I'm nervous of how it's going to be used against them.
You're a Lions fan.
But
You can't have any perception.
But I am glad that we have our head coach returning. I think he's a good football coach. I am okay with losing a coordinator because I believe that we have a good football coach.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. And I know I said last week that if you don't have, or if I'm as nervous, because that's kind of what my quote was of like, if you can't lose Gaddis. I was nervous about that. I was mad that we lost McDonald. If we lose coordinators, what does that tell me about the head coach? And that was kind of my argument last week was, doesn't tell me I'm very comfortable with my head coach. And that's the thing I'm going to continue to battle with myself is like, do I really trust my head coach, or did I buy into the coordinators and what they did last year was the real reason? And honestly, time will tell. And I get that. I'm not going to have an answer, but right here, right now, I'm really glad we're not searching or promoting for a head coach. That's the biggest thing for me. And I hope for a long time it doesn't happen. I hope we don't have to. I hope he's telling the truth when he's saying he's not going to apply for an NFL job.
Let me tell you what I think he does really good, because I think it's going to bring us into the next couple subjects here. Is I think he is very good at putting the right people around him in this type of football environment. I mean, back in 2015, 2016, it was Jim Harbaugh was the face of Michigan football, and like.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, we're talking about Harbaugh.
So what I'm saying is he's smart, and he poaches those coaches, and he does help them coach and develop talent. He's good. He's good at what he does.
I agree. I think he is.
Poaches them coaches.
Coaches and coaches.
Coaches the coaches,
Look
baby.
at that on
Okay,
a shirt.
let's make this as simple as possible. What has worked? What creates stability in programs? It's the head coach, not coordinators.
Yep.
Right? Saban's been there for
Yeah.
years. He has different coordinators all the time.
yourself.
That's not what
That's
Do it yourself.
very,
what
very true.
provides. And Pete Carroll at USC, different coordinators. You know, look at any program out there that has long sustained success. The head coach. There's turmoil when you have head coach turnover, not coordinators. That's why I'm excited
I agree.
about this.
Do it, Sam.
Yeah,
Is that-
having so the best
Hit a
coaches
buffer.
at every level. You know?
Every level. That means you're
Bill
doing something
Belichick,
right.
You know, all these guys are losing
Yes.
guys year in and year out.
Yep.
Is that it for Michigan talk, or do we want to keep going?
Is that what?
I feel like
Are we talking Michigan?
do we want to talk a little bit about the coordinators that were
Let's
hired?
quick buzz
or no?
on him and move.
All right, real quick. What happened?
Yeah.
Buzzing.
So, quarterbacks coach Matt Weiss is the co-offensive coordinator. We kind of spoke on a little bit
Yep.
with Sharon Moore. Both of them are going to be co-coordinators. Sharon Moore will be the play caller,
Good call.
but Matt Weiss is probably the brains behind the passing attack there.
Which one's supposed to be the big up and comer right now? Is it Moore?
Both.
I would
Are they
say
Both
both.
for different
Yeah.
reasons.
I think it
Yeah.
was
similar
I
reasons.
think it was Gaddis, wasn't he? He's only 38.
That was yesterday.
He's 30.
That was yesterday.
He's 38.
Yeah, but Gaddis could have been fired.
Oh,
Like,
last episode.
Yeah.
Sharon Moore, credit to him in the offensive line. That he was the man.
Sharon Moore's
in
the
trenches.
brains in the trenches,
Yep.
and Matt Weiss is the brains in the air. And from all accounts, Matt Weiss has way more potential to develop some of the play calling that he eventually will have. Definitely, he's got talent for it. But Sharon Moore, it's his time to take over that play calling. The other side is Jesse Minter
Minter
from Vanderbilt. also kind of a Ravens, right?
Yeah, I think
Ravens
it's
coaching
DB's
tree.
coach, right?
Oh yeah.
In the Ravens.
So
Yep.
so kind of followed that same Mike McDonald
yeah.
route, with the linebackers.
But he's
coach
also
out of the Ravens.
co-defensive coordinator, right? Because didn't Bellamy, is that his name?
No.
Ron Bellamy.
Ron Bellamy is the wide receivers coach. That
Who
that
was
has
the
not
other
been formally
defensive-
announced. But
what was the other defensive guy that automatically got promoted to co-DC
I didn't hear anything
based on
about
didn't
how
hear anything
how
about that.
their defense played?
I didn't hear anything about a co-DC.
You hate co.
I hate co.
You hate it. Yeah.
Co-
You
And that's going
especially-
to drive me nuts.
especially
thinking
co
Clint Scale?
DC.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's exactly what
Clint
I'm thinking
Scale
of.
was the big name that we
And,
brought in last
and based
year.
on his contract, the verbiage in his contract, and that's what I've seen like circulating is,
Circulated.
did I said that?
Circulating.
Circulate. Easy for you to say.
But basically, Michigan's defense finished last year, he automatically would get promoted to co-defensive coordinator this year. So
Okay.
based
We'll see.
on what we know with that, and then this, it sounds like it's going to be co-defensive coordinator, co-offensive coordinator.
Overall,
That terrifies me.
overall, with the offensive hire, you kept your structure. You've kept your overall structure with the understanding of the players that you have and what you've
100%.
developed up until this point. You're not losing that development.
I think the biggest key is this time last year, I would be just as nervous about Mike. Is it Mike McDonald?
Yeah.
Mike McDonald. Yep.
Because I didn't know anything about him. I would be just as nervous about Gaddis coming back for another year because it looked lost at times the year prior, half year prior to that. It's like now, based on what we just went through and making or beating Ohio State, winning the Big Ten, making the playoffs. Now it sucks losing these guys, but this time last year, Sam is saying the same stuff. Like, do we really have the right guys in place? And that's where I'm just going to be in a wait and see mode. Is the stuff scares me. I don't like that. Too many cooks in the kitchen type thing. But if it works, it works. And I hope I'm eating my words again next year.
It's still
And
young
mad,
talent.
Mad that one of these guys is jumping ship.
Well, it's not this old energy. It's still the young energy that worked for them last year. Jesse Minter, again, another young guy that is going to bring the same kind of play calling or structure that Mike McDonald had last year.
Right.
And not only that, but he's got 1 year of experience being a play caller as a defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And how are you going to succeed at Vandy in the SEC?
Don't let those numbers fool you. Vandy's defense overall, total defense, was ranked 118.
I
But-
trust John Harbaugh just as much
Yeah.
as I trust Jim Harbaugh.
But Vandy ranked dead last in the SEC in composite talent last season. That is terrible.
Is that a new stat?
giv-
Composite talent? I like that.
You are
Is there
you
like
are-
a rating for that?
You are giving him a pile of crap. No offense to the kids on the team.
I think they're all mad now.
Giving him a
They're
pile
not
of
gonna
crap
listen.
to work with.
They're not going to listen
Weren't they the
anymore.
ones that had the girl kicker?
Yeah,
Yes.
they were.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for
Yeah, I
them.
don't. Yeah, that's a good point. I would have taken the special teams coordinator.
That was
So-
mean, but
Don't let that 1 year of him play calling for an absolutely horrid team deter you.
Well, it's kind of like that thing. Didn't the Lions defensive coordinator get a couple looks for a couple head coaches jobs? They were
Yeah,
3
they're
and
still,
13.
they're still talking about it.
Yeah, yeah.
I hope Aaron Glenn stays.
Well, who is the most? Never mind. Don't need to get
Hit
into
that bumper.
Please stop.
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. State of My Sports.
Ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Ballsy, I like it.
All right. So the Senior Bowl happened on Saturday.
Sunday, I think.
I watched it on Sunday. I think it was on Saturday.
Now, if I've understood this right, this is a bunch of 65 and older gentlemen.
Yeah.
Senior Bowl.
AARP
Playing-
card. Is it
Hey,
the
wait,
triple AARP card?
I think it's 50, right? 55, something like that.
When I looked over this sheet, I
Very
didn't
young.
know there was a Senior Bowl. I didn't know this was a thing.
It's not even just seniors anymore either.
Could it
That's the
have-
funny thing because you don't have enough seniors.
Could it have been on a Tuesday and it was the Senior Bowl?
Senior Taco Tuesday.
At
Taco Tuesday at the House
at
Brewing
the
Company and
house,
Cafe.
yeah. The
Good dude,
Mahi.
smells so good in
250
here.
250 tacos.
Title
you can
sponsor.
pair it with a margarita seltzer for only $3 now. All right. So I thought this was going to be a bigger topic, but literally everything I found was all about Malik Willis. So I think this might just need to be a Malik Willis type conversation, Ryan, unless you have other things that stood out to you.
You guys watched this game?
I watched the condensed version of
I watched
this
the
game.
highlights
Kyle,
of it.
start the mock draft.
Yeah, what'd you think of the Senior Bowl? All right.
I think the defense dominated, especially defensive line. That shows the depth of not only the defensive line, but especially the edge rushers. The offensive linemen, I don't think they were properly matched up with the talent on the defensive side.
It's just
They had guys that should not be drafted, in my opinion.
There was a
playing
lot.
out there.
Yeah.
And so that really put the quarterbacks in a tough spot. It was tough to move the ball down the field. I think Malik Willis disappointed me big time with his
right.
with how long he held onto the ball and his lack of decision making. I thought Sam Howell had pretty quick decision making, but at the same time, a lot of that turned into running the ball and not throwing. So
I was hoping to learn a lot more from this.
Yeah,
And
it didn't
felt
tell
like,
us a lot.
I felt like I watched this and I was like, I just wasted time.
yeah,
I just wasted my own time. I could have read
3
about
hours
this,
wasted.
and like I just, well,
it's tough.
it was a condensed version, so it was fine.
It was 2.5.
2.5.
no, I think some of the guys that I was looking at, like wide receiver Christian Watson out of North Dakota State, he was a standout in the game. I've been telling everybody for 2 months that is going to be a standout.
Yeah,
and he'll get drafted higher than people think.
There were some people that looked good, and it was like, oh man, that's exactly what I was hoping to see. But then you look at everything else that was going on, it wasn't like just because he looked good, like the people he was going against didn't.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And that was the disappointing thing for me watching this game was like, I feel like they're obviously better than that person, and it's not teaching me anything because that person is absolutely terrible.
Is the main point of this game like scouting for scouts for the
100%.
NFL for the draft?
Yeah.
No,
gotcha.
the Lions were coaching one of the teams, American team, I think it was, and Malik Willis was a name that kept being talked about. It was talked about day one.
Oh yeah,
With what he did. I mean, people were talking. So I do have some quotes here, and I'm assuming this is Dan Campbell because the quote starts as "Listen." It says, "Listen, yesterday was our first day at practice with him, and I think he throws a nice ball. I think he's pretty athletic. He's built better than from afar you don't know. That's why to see these guys up close." He's a good-looking player.
Good-looking
That was
player.
Campbell said. What Campbell said. He's built right.
It says it right there.
Yeah. Looks like he's built to last. Shoot, he handled
there.
he handled our playbook pretty dang well. Or
Good.
pretty dang good yesterday.
Nice.
We had a couple run checks in there defensively. Kyle, we had a couple of pressure looks that I thought he handled. Look, day one, did a good job. But it wasn't just about these quotes, and it wasn't just about what Dan Campbell was saying. Everybody was saying Malik Willis looked like the best quarterback, looked like the best guy. Now, on one hand, that's very concerning because there's other guys that I look and I'm like, no, this guy's hands down better. But then I look at him and I'm like, and I still don't believe in that. So I don't know where I want this conversation to go necessarily.
you hate all the quarterbacks.
I do.
Did the dude from Pitt play in this?
He did.
Yeah,
Is he he's kind of the best people think, or the pundits think he's the best?
He might have hurt his draft stock though. I
No
will say
kidding.
that. Well, that mixed with his tiny hands.
Yes. So they talked
I heard about
that.
this. Rome was talking about
He's
this.
got tiny hands.
Tiny hands.
But okay, for the record, that's
9
not
inches.
true necessarily. They're not tiny. They didn't measure him because he has what's it called when your fingers bend the wrong way or something?
Double jointed.
Yeah, he has double jointed thumbs,
I did hear this.
and they
too.
couldn't
Yeah.
they couldn't figure out how to measure it or something like that because he has double jointed thumbs. That's what I heard.
Did they bring in the experts?
Like, just,
Thumb experts like
Maybe like a caliper?
maybe
like
some
you could
chimps.
work, like-
really? All right.
chimpanzees.
First of all, I don't care about the hand size because we already have the smallest hand quarterback in the league. I think with Goff allegedly.
That's
what
why I
people
care.
talk about.
Yeah.
But like,
It tells Ryan something.
and I think that's what we need to talk. But I mean,
He fumbles.
these quarterbacks in general, I don't see anything that gets me excited. I don't see any of these guys and be like, we just upgraded from Goff. And that's a problem. If you're going to draft a quarterback, you better be upgrading from Goff.
So a lot of midnight to 6.
There's a lot of just Yeah.
There's a lot of potential
Sticking at
Tom
the
Brady's
6.
out there.
A lot of wet and dry ones.
Yeah, dirty.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of potential Tom Brady's out there. That's what NFL franchises are thinking of. Like, I don't want to miss on this. And
Sure.
think about all the quarterbacks that are coming out this year that are retiring. Tom Brady's retired. Ben Roethlisberger's retired. Drew Brees last year. The Saints are still looking for their quarterback. Sure, I'm missing somebody.
Phil Rivers last year.
Yeah.
Me and Sam were just talking
But
about
they have
that. Like,
Justin
so many
Or,
quarterbacks
I
from
guess he was gone.
from when we were growing up, just getting into football, are like they're
Yeah,
gone now.
well, and that's a good point. The Colts, is that a long-term fit with Wentz? No. Is Carolina a long-term fit with what's his name?
Darnold.
Yeah, it's Sam Darnold. No, they've all learned that. So now we've got this massive demand for quarterbacks
It's almost like quarterbacks are important.
with a group
You
of
shouldn't trade a franchise
with a group
quarterback.
of like misfits. It feels like, but we miss on quarterback evaluation all the time. So now they're going to overvalue these guys. Okay, so I guess what this tells me right now is Lions got their chance to look at the top 2 quarterbacks in my mind that I want to learn more about.
Sam Howell, Malik Willis.
And if they care about, or if they really believe in one of those 2 guys, now they have an opportunity to either move up or move down in the draft to get their quarterback that they want. That's my position.
Yeah.
Because right now, if you're at the beginning of the first round or the end of the first round, you're not guaranteed to get either one of those guys. So in order to guarantee that, they have to make a trade. That's I guess the way I'm seeing this at this point.
No, I mean I don't disagree. So what one thing that I did after watching the game is I went and watched like just the quarterbacks just throw in practice. You know how they just you can find that on YouTube, like just a loop of them throwing their footballs and stuff.
I don't know that.
Ooh.
And I got really
familiar.
hung up on there was some that was like Malik Willis and Sam Howell taking snaps at the same time. I don't know if you watch these YouTubes or not.
Yes,
but like one thing that I noticed is
That's a lie. That's a total lie.
Malik Willis.
No,
Everybody's
he probably actually told him about it.
No. But Malik Willis,
They
like
watched
everybody
them
was talking
together,
about.
buzzed at church. When their phone buzzed.
Yeah.
Our pants were on. Let's talk about
Barely though, at the ankles.
it. We thought we were gonna take them off, but there was nothing that got us to take our pants off.
You guys,
No, but like
you guys weren't throwing flags or anything, were you?
no throwing anything about flags or anything.
Also,
But,
I was not
I was
included.
watching those two side by side making throws, and like the fact that Malik Willis maybe had a little more zip on the ball than Sam Howell. It took him a lot longer to get that ball out than Sam Howell.
More
And
zip or
now there was
zappy?
also a weird hitch in Sam Howell that I don't like, and I texted you about that one. I was like, "There's something about that I don't like, and I don't know what it is."
I'll pay attention
It
to
doesn't look right to me. It doesn't
I'll
look
look
like
at
an NFL quarterback. None of these guys look
Like
like
the
NFL
movement,
quarterbacks
the
to me.
movement of the throw. You mean?
No, like it's all on the shoulder, and yeah, I don't know. I mean,
He
Did
gets the ball
have-
high. He gets the ball high back here, and that's what he doesn't like.
Pads on or pads off?
the shoulder pads are on.
Okay.
Lower
Pants
pads
on
are
or
off.
pants off?
Their pants were on, but they were shorts, not football pants.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I think
football fans. Nice.
going back to the Senior Bowl and what this taught us, I think more than anything, and the reason I brought up the trade because I know that that's off topic. You know that the Lions are going to trade up or trade down for this, but it's important to me because if they want their quarterback and they found it, then this is the reason it's important for them to coach the Senior Bowl because then later on in the first round, whatever they trade for in the second round, even they've seen the edge rushers, they've seen the interior defensive linemen that they would not be drafting at number 2 if they trade down for that.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
no.
if they trade down and take their first round pick quarterback, that now they still have a need at edge. I know it's not a massive need, but they need to get to the quarterback. So they've seen the talent pool outside of the top 2 or 3 players out there, and to me that's important. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree, and I just look at it, and it taught me personally nothing. It really did.
I just told you what it should have taught you.
It also
He just tried to explain that.
It also is telling me that like there's a reason why I didn't teach me anything, and it needs to teach them. And if I'm going to buy into Brad Holmes, which I'm going to until he's gone, you guys know that about me with coaches and GMs, I'm going to buy in and trust them until they prove me. I was a Bob Quinn defender till he was fired. Basically, he's like, well,
Can't stand
let's
that guy
wait
now.
on him. Now I'm furious about him, and I'm angry. But like that's just who I am. Is I just sit and I trust because they know way more than I ever will, and can find out on film. So if they trade up or back or whatever it is they do for a quarterback and they take them, trust me, I'm gonna have my opinions, but then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna defend these guys and be all in. I'm not gonna be I want to be right guy. I'm gonna trust you, and I'm all in on your decision.
And that brings you back to why it was important for them to see these guys up close and personal. Yeah. So whatever ends up happening, if they trade,
that did great for the previous regime being at the Senior Bowl, because they were there twice, I think.
Well, at least once. Yeah.
They do this game every year. That's a joke. That's a joke.
Where's the Junior Bowl?
There are juniors on.
That was played on Saturday before the Senior Bowl.
That's the day before.
It's the Junior-Senior Bowl because not enough seniors in college that matter anymore. But.
You know what's weird? I actually just watched the Peyton Manning documentary on Disney Plus.
Is it good? I want to see.
Yeah, I mean it's fun. It's called the Book of Manning.
The Book of Eli.
The book. That's actually a dope movie.
Great movie.
That's a dope movie.
Yeah,
very good.
Book of Manning though, and they talked about, or there was a clip of Archie Manning playing in an old timers game where they were out there. He's 55 years old.
Yeah,
scrambling around and throwing passes and stuff, and he had a classic, just scramble, just like the old days, and it just made me think about that.
Worth watching
Senior
though.
Bowl,
Pretty good.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I like the Mannings. So it was fun to watch. Hey Sam, do you want to talk about podcast stuff?
Sam, can you focus, please? Can you go get beer first?
Yeah. All right. So I do want to go get some beer for us.
Do you want me to read?
So I want to cut a lot of what we're going to talk about here.
Okay.
Unless we can do it quick. I do want to talk.
Is Holmes the one I can't stand to hear talk?
Yeah.
What's he always say that I get mad about?
Holmes in the Freak Show?
And or yeah, no.
Oh, I can't remember.
Was it yeah, no?
No. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Here, hold on.
I'm killing it.
Hold on.
It's somewhere.
From the Red Wings to Michigan State, we're talking about it. This is State of My Sports.
What's that?
You want to go? That's fine. We can just talk real quick.
I'm gonna go get some beer, but I think we just. I want to talk a little bit about.
Find some tacos too.
The offensive coordinator.
If there's tacos down there, grab those too.
So we'll talk just very shortly about the Lions, and then I'll be back in a minute.
Good luck.
Yeah, sounds good.
Good luck.
All right, so
John locked the door and walks away.
I was gonna say, if you guys don't like Brad Holmes talking, you should watch Troy Weaver.
Is it worse?
Oh man, it's so bad.
I listened to a few clips. I texted Sam oh my goodness, I just counted. He said the same phrase so many times. I think it's something like that.
Yeah,
it's like so yeah.
He must listen to our podcast.
Yeah, right. So yeah. So yeah.
So professional. No, but Troy Weaver will take 3 minutes just to say one sentence. He's like, well, I thought about it.
Oh, he's slow.
A lot.
Okay.
And he's so calculated with the words oh my gosh, I can't handle you.
He talks like Jim Harbaugh.
I will say.
Yes. No, absolutely he does. Yes.
Yeah, Holmes doesn't talk slow. He just he has a normal, it's not like a tick or something, but when he's trying to buy a little bit of time to think through his answer, he says something so yeah.
Yeah.
Which what people do it.
Yeah.
I have my own thing with it. I'm sure that people are like, why does he say that?
Sure.
Like for sure.
No, but you know what I like about him though is it.
And really, I like him.
It really does feel like it is a true total team effort.
Yeah. He
really does go through the process and value people's opinions, and that's what I like about it. All right, let's get into the Ben Johnson promotion to offensive coordinator. This was kind of something that we saw coming. So
sure.
He took over the play calling, or at least supported Dan Campbell throughout the rest of the year come mid-year when what's his name was not calling plays anymore. But right when Dan Campbell took over,
nice.
The buzz was that Ben Johnson was helping him, former tight ends coach. And he was the mastermind with all the trick plays. He was the mastermind behind some of the run-heavy offense and the adding the extra offensive linemen and then going more pass-heavy and getting Amon-Ra St. Brown involved. So Brad Holmes says, after being asked about Ben Johnson promoting to offensive coordinator, he says, I'm always open for whatever. Holmes said in an interview with NFL Media, Tom
Pelissero.
Whatever.
So this is more about opening up a possibility for trade.
Oh, there you go. We're still in the early stages of it. We've got a good feel of the class. We're in a much better place in this stage of the process than we were last year, but still we've got a lot more work to do. but I'm never scared to move around. So we're definitely open for business always. And so that's talking about trade talk from number 2 pick. So I don't know if you wanted to go there or not, but
No, I wanted to talk a little bit about it. What I really wanted to do is dig into who can or who would be willing to trade up. I think it's still too early though.
way too early. Yeah.
And there's still a quarterback carousel going on. There's a lot to.
Draft is April, May, April.
June.
The draft is in June.
I think it's usually June.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong.
Holy cow.
Yeah, there's a few possibilities. I'm not sure if the quarterback is going to make this trade happen, but I will say that tackle position with Evan Neal and that's
Iggy, where things can get crazy.
Yeah, things could really get heated there. Some people don't want to miss out, but I also truly believe that with Hutchinson and Thibodeau, thank you. Between those two guys, I think enough teams will buy in that they're a special talent and might want something.
Oregon?
Yeah.
Thibodeau from Oregon, yeah.
I guess the only thing that I would disagree with you on that is people don't trade up for edge very often or pass rush. Most of the time when people trade up, it's quarterback or offensive line. And I think that's where it's going to be important. You got to see these offensive linemen keep moving up the board, and hopefully Malik Willis strikes a nerve with a few of these quarterback-hungry teams that they would want to come up for that. That's my opinion. Now, I'm not saying nobody would want to trade up for a Thibodeau or a Hutchinson, and it's not possible, but it's rare that people move up for that position in recent history, at least. That's.
Since you don't want to go too deep into this, can I ask you guys all 2 questions? Mike, feel free. I know you're obviously not a huge Lions guy.
I vote no.
Okay, he's out. Sorry. I want to know, should they take a quarterback, let's say, in the first 2 rounds of this draft, and should they trade that number 2 pick down? What do you guys think?
I would. All right, for your second question, should you trade down? I would love to trade down.
I agree.
That is my
Easy.
ultimate goal, is to trade down and turn
John too?
This draft.
Oh, he doesn't want to trade
For
down.
me, this draft is about quantity. I think I talked a little bit about it last week. It's all about quantity, not the quality. Now, you're getting a very quality player at number 2, whether it's Hutchinson, Thibodeau, or whatever it is. You're getting a very quality of player. But for me, this draft's about the quantity. Get multiple starters, multiple high-end starters. If you can find a way to trade down and, let's say, get another first-round pick next year, but still get a guy in the top 10, that's where you're really starting to escalate this
big,
rebuild.
yeah.
That's more important to me, because you get quantity now and you get quality next time when you have more ammo, when who knows where the Rams are, all of those things, like all of it can add up, and that's when you go get the right player, not necessarily multiple right players.
Well, and George Karlaftis might be just as good as Aiden Hutchinson. We still don't know.
Yeah, true.
The drop off in that position is usually a lot smaller than it is in other positions.
It's also an easy position to miss on. If you look at
You can.
That's a very good point too. Now, your first question of do you take a quarterback here?
In the first 2 rounds.
In the first 2 rounds, all right, if your guy happens to fall, you take him with your second first-round pick. That's what you do.
Okay.
If your guy falls. Now,
I thought you guys would disagree on this.
No. My opinion is no. There's nothing that I see about any of these guys that says go get a quarterback. Sure. Nothing. I don't want any of these guys because, honestly, I already said it, I don't think any of them are better than Goff.
Right.
Now, can they be? Maybe, but they're also projects. They're massive question marks.
Yeah.
And the second, and this is something that I always bring up, the second you draft a quarterback, that's when your clock starts as a coach. That's when your clock starts as a GM, because you cannot fail with that quarterback, and you don't have time to draft a second. It just doesn't happen, especially if you draft one in the first 2 rounds.
And I guess my position on this is you should never draft a quarterback because he falls. It's too important of a position for you to just draft them based on like herd value, some sort of like value. Yeah. That doesn't last. We saw that with Josh Rosen when he was drafted in the first round and then had no value after year 1.
Yeah.
With the Cardinals, that just didn't work out. But I think if you have your guy, you go get him. You don't wait for him to fall.
Yes, you get him.
It's too important to miss on your guy. So if you believe in him 100%, go get him.
And they're sitting at number 2, so I mean, they don't have the guy, right?
Well,
I mean, or else you guys would be saying yeah, we should take a quarterback at 2.
That's what I'm saying. You either
I-
trade down from 2 to draft your guy
Yeah.
at 8.
Oh, it's
let's
one
just
or the
say,
other kind of- yeah,
or
yeah,
you trade
yeah.
up from 31 or 32 and go get your guy at
15 or
I'm
okay.
also still in the bandwagon of don't draft a quarterback and sign a guy named Matthew Stafford when he's a free agent.
Yeah, seems
Be a
likely.
quarterback.
No.
That's where I'm going to hold on to
My
that
guy.
until we draft a
Hold on here.
quarterback.
So, looking a year ahead, though, so then do you have your eyes out on Bryce Young or C.J.
Yeah,
Stroud?
good call.
Not necessarily. I mean,
Because if
I think
this
time will tell
voids out
because-
all the QBs right now, then you're looking for 2 guys.
I think time will tell because this time last year I was like Sam Howell. I was like there were some big name guys that are like they're going to be there for us
What about
when we need a quarterback.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, the kid from
Oh, yeah,
Oklahoma.
yeah,
Spencer Rattler?
Rattler, yeah, he
like,
was
it
like-
he's gonna
all about
develop at South
Rattler
Carolina, though?
and Sam Howell.
Well, I think
This time
I think,
last year, that's when
yeah.
we were,
I think going into the season, Rattler was like projected
Consensus
to be
number one.
number 1 overall quarterback
100%.
in the NFL draft.
Look,
This year,
I
and he didn't
hope
play.
my overall goal for the Lions is you have a team built and your one missing piece is a quarterback. And then you go find it, whether it's through a draft, giving up assets like the Rams did, future assets, future first round picks to get a veteran that you know can make you better, or a free agent, or if a quarterback lands on your lap that you think you can win with, then you go do it. But I want a team built first because quarterbacks are the highest paid position, and as soon as that contract hits, that's the problem. That's not like
Is he yelling?
Stafford wasn't the problem with his talent. The problem with Stafford is early on in his career is you had Calvin Johnson, who was a very highly paid wide receiver from day one because he was third overall, second overall? One of the two.
Number 1 overall, was
No,
it?
Calvin wasn't.
Kelvin?
No, I think he was
Number 2.
2 or 3. But
2?
But then you also had
Georgia
Stafford.
Tech.
That was before the rookie salary cap was in place. Then you had Stafford, who was the last quarterback ever taken under that same no rookie salary cap. They're all overpaid. Ndamukong Suh was not part of the rookie salary cap. That's what we need is to start from scratch and get high-end talent at a cheap price. And that's what you do with high-end picks in the draft and quantity in a draft. You get really high-end players that deserve to be paid more but aren't yet because their contract's not up. So I want to build the team, and then you start paying a quarterback a very little bit amount of money that is already a very good quarterback. A Joe Burrow. I know it's hard to find that in this league, but go get your quarterback once you have the team,
number 1
and that's your
overall
one missing piece. That's your one missing piece.
I guess if he falls to number 2, you got to just go after him, right? But-
That's right.
Can we still take him at number 2?
yeah.
Is that how this works?
Available this year?
Can we go
have to phone a
back?
friend.
Like we retroactively pick this?
Actually,
I mean,
there's this thing called your dreams. Yes.
Yeah.
You can do anything
Okay.
you want.
Going back-
the Packers did a pretty good job of picking a quarterback that fell on draft night.
They actually went up to get him. They didn't
they
fall
traded
anywhere.
up. I love that pick.
I mean, but he fell in the grand scheme of things. He fell in the
He
draft
sure did.
board,
Yeah.
the big board. He fell down.
No, I heard a
He
quote.
was
understand what I'm
waiting
saying,
to
though?
get drafted.
I hear what you're saying. I heard a quote that just resonated with me this week, and it was that I want to be the team. I want the Lions to be a team that wins because of their quarterback and not in spite of him. I don't want a quarterback to fit into a winning system. I want the winning system to fit around the quarterback, and that's
fair.
the tried and true method of consistent winning. Aaron Rodgers with the Packers, they know what they have at quarterback. They just build around that system. Drew Brees, Saints, they built around Drew Brees. That was their system and consistent winners.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, same thing. I don't want to win
Not in
with
Tampa.
Yeah, well, no, they did. Yeah,
A little
dude,
bit.
Absolutely, 100%. Tom
Yeah.
Brady elevated that team. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Go look at his
Tom
stats
Brady
from this
definitely.
year.
And-
Right, but you just said it backwards, though.
Did I?
Grant came back out of retirement. So.
AB. Don't forget AB.
I do get that, but at the same time, I look at let's say the 49ers, who just won, kind of despite their quarterback.
Yep, and I
little bit, yeah.
would rather be the team that's there year after year and not have the high highs and low lows.
That's fair. But it's also nice to have high highs and then low lows and then get really Kyle. But you know what I mean? Like if your highs are really high and you're like really good and
Kyle.
it's fun.
Yeah, but we've never
But then
had that.
your
Jaws.
low lows, you're getting really high end draft picks like the 49ers did. Like that's I think
You could also be like the Rams, and they were always a quarterback away, and then they go get their quarterback, and they invested their entire future into this whole thing.
Yeah.
And guess what? It works. They were literally a talented quarterback away.
Yeah.
We had that same quarterback, and we weren't anywhere close.
See, but that's the nice thing about when you're a contending team and you have a couple of injuries that bring you down, and you get some really nice draft picks that entire year. Come that draft time, Packers did it when Aaron went down. They were terrible. 49ers just did it. They had 1 year where they just had a couple of unfortunate injuries that projected them right and just
to a high-end
draft pick.
Sure.
And it changed the trajectory of like the next 2 to 3 years
or more.
Like
Yeah.
it's
And that's
unfortunate,
kind of going back
but
to what Ryan
fortunate.
said, is like your quarterback should either make you really good, and without that guy, really bad.
Yeah.
And I definitely get that. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong on that.
You know what I mean? I want the guy that wins the shootout.
It's not the first time you were wrong tonight, Sam.
No, definitely not.
I don't know. We'll have
The-
to check the tape on that.
the-
one.
Good call there, John.
The NFL draft, thanks to Kerry, is the last weekend of April, not in June.
See, and
Yeah, a couple months off.
didn't I say April?
I don't remember that being brought up.
I think the
was.
NBA, the NBA draft.
I said,
might
"Isn't
be
the draft in April?"
Is it
And he
the
goes,
NHL?
"No, it's in
I'm probably
June."
thinking the NHL draft is June.
Oh,
I was thinking like June 15th.
Funny
but
story.
That's probably that.
Look at sports guy over here.
I was once snowed
he's-
in at North
he's-
Dakota.
He's pumped for the draft, though.
Yeah, he's excited.
I once flew into North Dakota in late April to play a 4-game series in college, and it didn't happen. It was snowed out, and I was stuck in what's a popular city in North Dakota?
Sioux Falls.
Ooh. Oh,
All the way north. It's
Fargo?
Oh, Sioux.
Fargo.
Fargo.
I was stuck in Fargo, North Dakota for an entire week, like 6 days.
Isn't there a
because
movie
we
about
couldn't.
that?
Oh yeah, they're
and a show. Yeah.
And a really good show too.
Really good show. Yeah.
But yeah, and we were just stuck there. The whole time we just watched the NFL draft.
I don't know if I'd be comfortable being stuck in Fargo
No, I know,
after
that's
seeing
what I
that
said.
show and that movie. And that,
watched-
like,
I watched the show- I
What do
watched
you
the
guys
movie
think about
twice.
doing an NFL draft watch thing here and doing it live like we did?
Didn't we try
at
that
my
once?
house? Well, we did but before COVID, we were
I'm just
going to
kidding,
do it
yeah.
here.
We were gonna do it here. And yeah.
You guys want to do that?
Yeah, I'll be
Ask.
there.
It's a Thursday.
Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, I'll be there, Kyle says.
It's in April, though.
Oh, I was
It's in
thinking
April,
June. I was
thank
thinking
you.
more June.
Yeah.
We'll just rewatch it.
June works better. for me.
Rewatch the redraft.
Better weather.
Yeah, we're doing that.
Sign me up.
Remember when we were going to just pass this topic?
Did it just play no?
Yeah, that was like
Just
20
no?
minutes.
Yes, I timed it perfectly.
Oh, at least 20 minutes ago.
Hey, let's move on.
All right, Ryan. Nope.
That's not right.
Did you want me to explain Betting Hero?
Thing.
All right, here we go. Guys, this is like the 10-second version. BettingHero.com, promo code MIBETS. They have offers that you should not pass up. You can win free money. Boom.
BettingHero.com. Promo
Am I
code
bets? I might actually do some of that this week.
No, you won't.
You should.
I've never bet.
You know what? I think I
At
might
all.
too.
Have you ever done it before, though?
No, I've never done it.
Me neither. I never have.
I just have a feeling I'm missing on like $4,000 free dollars.
Don't
Yes.
listen to these
I hear it
guys.
on the
You
radio
should do
all
it.
the time.
Yeah.
Like,
Wait, you hear it on the
It's
radio
too
or
good to-
podcast?
It's too good to pass
no,
up.
the radio. What I listen to. and the podcast.
Thanks.
What I not like this thing, but
Light week last week. Micah went 2-2. Kyle 1-3. Ryan 3-1.
There we go.
And I went 2-2. So, new standings. Micah 82-73. Ryan 81-74.
it's tight.
He's
Sam.
gaining, baby.
It's tight at the top.
78-77.
Loser.
Kyle 77-78.
Come on, Kyle. Do not finish last.
I
Is
swung.
this the
Oh, I
final
told
week?
him I'm
is
either
the
getting
final week,
first
guys.
or I'm getting last.
This is when
I
it's
told him that
happening.
3 weeks ago.
Guys,
If you're
this
not
is,
first, you're last.
This is the final week, though. I think it's like week 25. I think we've done this 25 weeks.
Wait, loser. What does winner get?
It's a lot of pressure on Micah to pick before me.
I know.
We've never given out prizes.
Oh, okay.
But the loser has to be on the
No,
podcast for the next year
no.
straight.
I'll do that as
Not
soon as
missing an
Trav
episode.
takes his beer out of a boot.
You already did one.
Where was I?
Not at my house, I'm assuming.
I guess not.
Oh, yeah, you did that.
He did.
Yeah.
It was so bad. There was like chunks
Whose
coming
boot
out.
was that?
That was Easton's
Easton's boot?
ring.
Oh no!
And Easton wouldn't wear the boots because there was too much like. It was uncomfortable because there was like loose.
There were hops
Did
in
it-
his boot.
Did it ruin the? Yeah, it had to ruin the boot.
I don't think so. I mean, it's a ring boot.
Oh, it's just like
It's
Rubber?
all
Rubber.
just rubber.
Okay, no insulation.
Well, like, I think they
I'm
were-
thinking snow boot, and I'm
I
like,
think they
you
were
ruined the
dirt.
boot. Like,
Oh yeah,
sock
no,
in
there
there?
was,
Rocks.
leave a sock
there was
in the
stuff in
toe.
there for sure. But he does owe another one, so we'll get that.
You know what we should
going.
do? We should all talk at one time.
Yes, let's do that. John, you like that?
On the count of 3.
Well, the volume goes up on everybody when everybody talks at once.
I'm gonna laugh louder than you.
But Kyle, to answer your question earlier,
Yeah.
Sam, are you yelling? He was. He
Yes.
was super excited about trading that draft pick
I,
for the Lions.
I almost
would
put my
love
headphones back on
He was
because he
yes.
was so loud
He was-
sitting next to me.
He was pumped to trade that June
yes,
draft pick.
the June draft pick.
Trade it all, baby.
That's why I looked at Ryan. I'm like, is he yelling?
Look,
like, is it
my
loud? in your
draft
head?
simulator
I don't know
is
what you're
my
saying. I
weakness.
don't hear you.
Yeah.
I'm only focused on trading down 3 times now because you get
I know.
like that's just
I
that's
see your
my
results.
go-to. Yeah, I send
You're
them
like,
to you.
I have 25 draft picks here with 14 future first rounders. I'm like, I can't do that math. I don't understand.
Over the next 30 years. Someday
It's
we'll get there.
crazy. I
Like,
should be
wow.
a GM.
Yeah,
I should
good
be
for
a
you.
GM.
You swindled.
You should be a GM.
That's not how it works.
All right. Well, we got some picks to make before we get into the Super Bowl. The Red Wings play the Flyers twice, and the Wild Ones
Flyers.
over under
This is the ones that killed me.
Filer?
I don't know.
2.5 points.
Filer?
Filers?
All right, guys. We don't have time to mock me today.
Okay.
Micah,
I do.
over or under 2.5 points.
Under.
Ryan,
He's got to
twice
go over because
and
he's got to
Wild.
make up.
I'm going
That's all
over,
I'm saying.
baby. I'm going
Opposite of
over, baby.
everything.
There you go.
Kyle.
Micah.
I'm going over. Kyle.
Oh,
All right, give me the over. We're all after Micah.
All right. To be honest, Flyers are really bad. So
Wait,
They're gonna win
can
2
I
games.
ask you about the so our standings? I went 3-1. I thought I went 4-0.
I saw
Which
3-1.
What was the one that I lost on?
uh-oh.
What,
I don't know. I haven't
Was
written
it-
down that.
was it
Hold
the
on the
Pistons?
desk.
You know, he's been doing
No,
that
I
to
won
me.
that one.
He's been doing that to me all season. I'm like, I went
wondering if
4
it was
0.
The Michigan one?
Yes, I was wondering
No,
if it was
because
total
it was
points.
a push.
A
It-
push,
they
I always
tied,
give us
that's what I'm
wins.
saying.
Pushes, I always give us wins.
All of us?
Yeah,
Okay, I thought maybe you gave me a loss.
I did not.
Well, then what's the loss? Which one did he lose?
Which one do you think you lost?
I don't know. I thought it was the Michigan one, but never mind. Let's move on.
Okay.
I'll re-listen.
I'll send you the picture of it tomorrow. Tonight. when I
No,
get
I'll
home.
re-listen.
Drama.
All right, we got the Super Bowl to talk about.
Super
Stafford's
Bowl.
gonna win. No, all right.
Oh, boy.
I got some.
We already know you're going
Some
there.
prop bets, and then we'll get into the over/under and the spread here. So we'll start with some prop bets. Mixon over/under 63.5 rushing yards.
Under.
Micah. Ryan.
Over.
You don't have to ask Ryan what he's doing.
No.
Just do the opposite of what I'm saying.
Can someone tell me what team this person plays for?
I'm going
The
to
Bengals.
go over as
Come on,
well.
man.
This is the
They gotta run
Bengals
the
running
ball.
back,
Joe-
right?
have
Yeah,
to.
Joey.
And he's breaking one.
The better Joe.
They have to run the ball.
Yeah, I want
against
the
this
over.
Defensive line.
Smash
they'll
the over.
Cover
run.
Joe.
You took the over, Kyle?
I want the over.
Wow, Micah, you're on an island twice so far.
fine.
Next, we got Akers, running back for the Rams. Kyle.
Cam.
Over under 64.5 rushing yards.
Hey, they have 3
Micah.
running backs.
Under.
They got 3 running backs.
Yeah.
Ryan,
They do run 3.
Under.
I'm going under as well.
Dude,
Under.
Take the over, Kyle.
Or over. Give me the over. Give me the over. Yeah, sorry. Thank you, John.
Oh, you know he's due to break like a
You
7.
just talked me out of it.
No,
John's
he's gonna break a 70-yard run for
John's
sure.
like, they got 3 different running backs.
First
Take
play.
the under.
Matt Stafford's only throwing the ball 11 times on Sunday.
I
Dude,
don't.
that'd be crazy.
Run heavy.
Ooh.
Matt Stafford, MVP. Yes or no? No, all right. Next, we got Burrow. Over under 276.5.
Come on, Micah.
Passing yards.
What do you got? What do you got, Micah?
Micah.
Over.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah.
Ryan.
Man, I'm gonna go over.
I'm going under.
Ramsey's
Kyle.
going to get torched again.
It's over, under?
I'm going under.
No, I want the over.
I'm on an island on that one. John, what do you think's gonna happen on that one?
I put over, yeah.
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 Next,
That's
we got
that's not that many. He's got three of the best receivers. around.
Matthew
Oh,
Stafford. Do you know his name's not
Stat
Matthew?
Pafford.
His first name's not really not Matthew.
What's his real first name?
Joseph.
Shut up.
Joseph Matthew Stafford.
Really? But he got a huge hard on for people not calling him Matt, right?
I might have made that up. I'm pretty sure that's true though. I might have made that up.
I've never heard that.
Look it up, John. On it.
Oh, look.
All right, Stafford.
Matt Stafford's wife.
Over under 281.5 passing yards. Micah.
I think that's an easy one. Go over.
Ryan.
I gotta like differentiate myself. from
You do.
a little
Although,
bit.
if I can just say this, Ryan, that's what I've been trying to do to catch him the last 3 weeks,
Yeah.
and now it's landed me in last place.
I
Yeah.
think you got the first two, Ryan, so you're good.
Well, I
Just match them the rest of the way.
don't want to just do
No,
that.
I know that's not fair.
I want to win.
If he throws a pick six, does the yardage come
does
back
not.
off of that?
He will not throw
Great
a
question.
pick
I mean, he
six.
does
He's gonna be
lead like the
flawless.
NFL in those,
He
right?
does
I
do
think,
that.
honestly, I think this is going to be one of Stafford's most polished games of all time.
Which Stafford?
You
Matthew?
think that.
Matthew?
Or,
Joseph?
Is it Matthew Joseph or Joseph Matthew?
Or is it John?
John.
I should have known that.
It's John
Except
Matthew.
for he spells it with an
he's got the H. Yeah.
It's John Matthew.
Number one fan got his name wrong.
Forget
Yep,
that
doesn't
guy.
even know his name.
Forget that guy.
Number one fan.
Can you imagine getting mad about people calling your middle name incorrectly? Like that's
weird,
It's
yeah.
a pretty low
I have a
thing.
son who only goes by his middle name.
I don't like
nickname.
Stafford anymore. No, I'm just
Kyle?
kidding.
What's your real name?
My real name is Kyle.
Kyle, Vinny,
Kyle Vincent. Yep.
Vincent.
But Dave, everyone who calls Gus, his name is David August.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that.
People
I have a really
don't
hard
even
time with
know.
that one.
Yeah, that's a weird one. I don't know why. It
I
just
have a
stuck.
really hard time with your youngest name. What's his name?
Oscar.
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 I don't know why.
Oh,
I can never
because we
remember
call him
it.
Bobo. Yeah.
Yeah, I just
Bol Bol.
It has a
Bol Bol.
Yes,
Bull
Bol
Bull.
Bol.
Tell us about the Bull Bull trade. That's where we were.
Key trade.
Key trade there.
We
Wait,
pushed
did you
him
make
back.
a decision?
All right, guys.
Ryan hasn't made a decision yet.
I've had plenty of time to think about this.
Well, thank goodness.
Thank you, everybody. I'm going to go under. I'm going under.
I am too. I don't think he's going to need that many yards to win this football game.
Yeah, when he only
I
throws
think-
11
I
times.
think you're going to have a defensive touchdown for the Rams.
Now
and
I think
that's gonna
over.
just
Same went
make-
under. I know it's over.
You want
now.
to switch to over? You can switch to over. You want to switch to over? I will give you a chance to switch to over
Really?
based on my under.
No, I'm going to stick with what I did.
Why are they able to deal?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
Sam prints the sheet.
What?
We don't
What
know
kind of
whose
crap
record
is
is
this?
what.
Yeah.
Kyle, what are you doing?
What have we got so far?
Ryan and
Over,
I
under,
took-
under.
Sure.
Yeah.
Give me the over. Sorry, no, sorry. Give me the under. Stafford has a rough
Come on,
game.
Kyle. Roll with me,
You
dog.
think he's going to have a rough game?
Yeah, he sucks.
At home? As the visitor?
I'm totally.
I want to switch to over just because of that.
He's the visitor at home?
He's the visitor at home.
I made that pick just so I could say he sucks, which I don't believe, but I knew Sam would love it.
All right. One more prop bet. Over under 4.5 total sacks. Micah.
Over.
Ryan.
Over.
I'm going over as well.
If you go
Smash
under, you are
the over
silly.
on this
That's the
one.
reason I had to go under on the previous one because I can't do it there.
All right.
Didn't Burrow get
What?
9 in one
Nine
game?
versus the Titans.
Wow.
I think there could be 9 again on this one.
Yeah, there could be.
Why?
Um,
So with Vegas, why? Sorry, yeah.
No, you're good. Ask again.
Why is that number so low then? Why does that seem so low?
I think it's just an easy.
But they're generally right.
Yeah, but they're gonna try to get the ball out of his hand so he doesn't get sacked.
They're going to manipulate it too.
They see it
Vegas,
coming.
Vegas
Yeah,
is
okay.
good at this kind of stuff.
That's my point. Yeah, yeah.
I think
I feel
the
like
Rams.
you should work for Vegas.
I think Rams have 5 in them alone. And
See, I think
Stafford's
so,
going
too.
to have one of those just fall down sacks because he didn't want to get rid. He didn't have time to get rid of the ball. I mean, he gets sacked quite a bit. So, all right, I don't know. Moving on.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
All right, next I'm going to move down to the over/under. Then we'll end with the spread. Bengals, Rams, over/under 49.5 points.
Under.
Ryan,
Over.
push. No, I'm just kidding.
Not allowed.
It's worth 17 points, so I get it right.
Yeah. Deal.
Deal. Take the push.
Deal or no deal?
This feels like an over to me. It feels like an over. Kyle.
Over, because I think
Oh, I love this. I love it.
that there's some junk time touchdowns in here. At least one.
So.
I'm going to miss this music next week.
You You can always play it. It's
Yeah,
on
it's
that
true.
iPad.
It's just
You have it right here.
Actually, we'll do a
Darn
mock
it.
draft. We'll do a mock draft tomorrow, so I can, for next week. So
I'm out.
Kyle's feeling sick.
So I was like, I'm done.
And I.
All right, next in our final bet of the year, we got the Bengals against the Rams. -4.
Very interesting number.
It is. Micah,
Favorite.
what are you doing?
Bengals cover.
Ryan.
Bengals cover.
Let's go. That was my team drafted in our pick'em. Let's go. 3rd round Bengals pick. Let's go.
I'm going Rams hard.
I could have told
For
you that
multiple
preseason.
reasons. I
this
really
messes
want
with
to
my
pull up.
pick.
I really want to pull up what I said about the trade and stuff like that, and about how the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl and it's going to suck, but it's going to be awesome.
It's up to you.
I bet you I said all that. I said over, or I said Rams.
Right, it's up
100%.
to you to pull that up.
Yeah, that's true. I know nobody else will do it. Kyle,
I got
all
a
you,
tough one
man.
with this because I believe that. Don't write anything yet. I think it's the Bengals because I think they'll cover. But he's going to be so insufferable if the three of us all pick the Bengals and then he won by picking. Yeah, give me the Bengals.
I am on the Rams Island and I love it.
I'll give you your moment. Okay.
I'm gonna be so happy this time next week. Talking about Stafford winning a Super Bowl.
And he's a Lions fan.
Yeah, but I mean,
Doesn't make any
still,
sense.
I can still be okay with my guy. I mean, you were happy when Favre left, so
Right.
don't you want to start that?
But I was
pronounced
called a bandwagoner.
Favre.
Favre. You were cheering for Favre. When he was
Yeah, I know it was.
Okay,
you
so
also
I can-
called me a bandwagoner. That makes you one.
No, because they're not my
Whoa,
team
whoa,
now.
whoa.
The Rams are not my team. This is the 1 year, and I said this at the beginning. I'm going to root for the Rams to win this year, and then next year I hope they lose every game. And then I hope Stafford comes back
I think
to
this is
Lions.
going to be a really exciting thing because I do wish the best for Matthew Stafford. And if he wins, that'd be great. It'd be outstanding. It'd be awesome. But the Bengals are a great story too.
A better story.
Better. I think he's right. Better. Joe Burr.
Burrow's awesome.
I don't
He
really-
is
I-
awesome.
I still am going to stick to he's got a punchable face.
You told me that when he was at LSU.
Yeah, like I like his swagger.
I
and
remember
stuff.
him saying that.
When he threw 60 touchdowns
Yeah.
in one season in college.
Like he's got.
He
swagger.
also said
he's got
in
swagger.
the
He's
NFL,
good.
he won't end up being good.
oh, where he threw so many more.
I don't remember saying that.
And I agreed with you.
I don't remember saying that.
We had to talk about Joe Burrow.
All right. I just think we were high on multiple quarterbacks just like this before.
Joey Harrington. Joe.
That
You know, when
Joe-
you look at old
Joe
drafts,
Matthew,
when you
John
look at old
Matthew.
drafts, and I'm talking like old, like in the 2000s, how dumb were they? They missed on so many prospects. You watch some of the film of like Joey Harrington in college,
Oh
and
my
I'm
gosh!
like,
How did they ever think
he's-
he was going to be good?
well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and like they're like Tom Brady. There were 6 quarterbacks taken ahead of Tom Brady. It's like you look at all those guys, like they're not even talented quarterbacks. Like why were they taking them?
Yeah.
Like they were just dumb. So I don't know.
Jamarcus Russell
Mitch Trubisky.
could throw the
Patrick
ball.
Mahomes.
Could throw the ball 75 yards,
mile.
sitting down in a chair.
Yeah.
You know,
And they're like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, he's the hardest throw ever.
got on the wrong bus.
Terrible
You
quarterback.
know, to get to the practice squad. I don't know.
Didn't they have a story like they had a $100 bill in one of his playbooks or something, and like they would have
Never
known
found
if
it.
he never found it because he never opened the playbook.
He didn't even know the playbook.
Can you imagine?
Like,
that?
talk to a guy, interview him a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think that like we're at a different spot these days.
I agree. There's way too much to know for them to figure draft guys like this.
Also, I watched the Deion Sanders documentary on Disney Plus. I've been watching a lot of Disney Plus lately. With
I love Disney
documentaries.
Plus.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
with the
yeah.
documentaries and stuff.
There's a Deion Sanders one?
Oh yeah, like two-way player.
Okay, yeah.
The Braves and the Falcons.
Oh, I bet
Yeah,
that's
that's
pretty
right.
cool.
That was a pretty good one, and I don't think the athleticism has necessarily increased. I think the way people evaluate athleticism
Yeah.
has definitely increased.
Increase. Yeah.
The knowledge of the game and what's good and what's not is way different than it used to be.
Then, yeah. Even 10 years ago, like you
Yeah.
said. Yeah.
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 Speaking of two-way
the
players,
but
though,
the athletes are not different.
that we didn't talk
Sure.
about at all was Kyler Murray and all that drama.
Oh yeah, that's a lot to get into. We
Next
don't have
week?
time.
He deleted stuff.
Just jump back to the Lions talk. We'll just fill it right into
Yeah, but he
that.
hates the
What's
Cardinals.
this one that says kid and cake?
Kid and Cake. You want to hear it?
I don't have headphones on.
If it's craft beer
Is something
in
playing
Michigan
right now?
sports, we may not be
Should
the
I not be
authority,
talking?
but we love both like
Did
a
he cut
fat
my mic?
kid loves cake.
I heard I did.
State of
that's
my
my sports,
sports.
Let's get into our beer grades. Micah, remind everybody what we're drinking tonight.
Oh, I need a little.
We're drinking White Rhino. It's combining two distinct styles. This white IPA grabs hop bitterness and aroma from an American IPA and blends it with the smoothness of a Belgian wit beer, resulting in a citrusy, smooth, hazy white IPA. It's a 6.7%er.
Get in there.
Tastes like a dream.
The rest is Ryan.
I really, really, really like this beer.
You don't need that many
It's
Ridleys.
bright. It's a bright beer.
Really, 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 really.
So,
really,
should I say my off-air joke or no?
Yeah, say your off-air joke. What was it?
No?
What rhymes with Kyle? I don't know.
Should I say my off-air joke?
I don't remember your offer joke.
Did they
Because it
have
probably
to?
wasn't funny.
Did they have to interview a black rhino before they named it
Ooh,
the
yeah.
white rhino?
Here
Or like
goes-
the Rooney Rule?
Here
like
goes
the
our
Rooney Rule?
Here goes our both of those comments were just
Oh,
flat.
Yep. Okay, cut those out, John.
Thought we
ASAP.
talked about this.
Good
grief.
I just asked you if I should say
Yeah,
it.
no,
You
but I
said yes.
literally didn't
He
remember.
did. He said, "I don't know what you said."
It meant
Oh, I
that
thought that meant I
little
had to
to me.
remind
By
you.
no means did Ryan go, "Yeah, fire away."
I was very smart and just like separated myself from that.
Good thing it's a 2-hour episode and those little transmitters that pick up on like cues
Yeah,
that people
have-
say.
Did they
that
stop
can-
listening a long time
yeah,
ago?
long time.
Just like everybody else did. He's mad. Sorry. That's a joke.
Hey, listener Carrie is drinking a beer.
Oh,
What is
what
it?
did she drink?
Coopersville Brewing. They're hand squeezed.
We did that one.
She texted him like an hour
We
ago.
did.
We did that one.
Yes, it was on the screen.
It was on the screen, and John
Yes.
didn't. John?
No.
You have any?
No, I'm
No,
not,
that
I'm not
was-
throwing
Micah's
John
throw-
under the bus.
Micah's throwing you under the bus.
That,
What is
Wow,
it?
what are we talking about?
that was when the screen was frozen.
I don't even
and
know what we're talking
everything,
about.
like,
A screen?
came back alive.
So it was a really cold.
We
Literally never
do
looked
have
at
a
a comment.
lack of Wi-Fi things going on in this room.
Yeah, I think it's because we're in the upstairs, like up in the cellar. You know.
Well, yeah.
Right, right.
So sorry, thousands of listeners. We just
What did she
can't
grade it?
see
I don't have a grade from her. I don't know.
Carrie.
Well, wait.
I don't know.
I gave her the heads up that. Beer
Let's do
grades
dead
would come
air
up after
until
that.
listener Carrie comes
Carrie.
through with her
Dude,
beer grade.
That might have been
Do
20 minutes ago.
The
at this
Judge
rate.
Judy.
Yeah. I love when people walk into church late, like friends of mine. And
always
they're
walk
like,
into church
they're
What do you
trying to
mean?
get their kids in, and I don't care at all because half the time I walk in late.
Oh.
But I'm always like,
Oh. Was
Half-
that a 8.3 on the watch there, Kyle?
no.
Because we got an 8.3 on
She's
the
got
hand
8.3.
squeeze.
Ooh, all right.
That was for the hand squeeze.
I've not
Nice.
tried
Nice.
Coopersville. It's good stuff.
Yeah, you should have been there a couple weeks
It's
ago. when we-
it's
when we-
it's really
Wow,
good
what?
stuff. I'll tell
You
you,
fired me,
It's
so-
really good.
We're actually.
Is it
I
really?
got to
Yeah.
get in contact with their owner, and we
Jeremy.
got to get an episode in there.
What a high baller.
Yeah.
Let me reach out to the owner.
What's above an owner?
Yeah. Is there anything above an owner?
Head brewer.
That's who I'd like to talk to.
I don't know.
Also called master.
Master brewer.
Brew master.
Sam's better at debating.
What do you think, guys?
Master debater.
We are not doing good at grading this beer right now
Oh, okay. I'll go next.
at all.
I'm
Wait, did he
gonna-
go?
I'm gonna go. What did you give it?
Nothing.
I'm gonna go
You gave it a
8.5.
0?
8.5's high. He gave it a 0.
He gave it a nothing.
Give it a 0.
Can you believe this Joker?
That'll bring down the average.
What did you say? 8.5?
8.5. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Really good beer.
It is a good beer.
Slightly impractical Joker.
All right, Micah, you're next, buddy.
Is that an 8?
I'm gonna do an 8.3. I do like this beer. It's good.
I love
everything
the
about
citrus
it.
in
It's a great beer.
I love what they put into it.
What they put into it. Remind us what
Everything
they
I
put-
read twice. I'm not reading it a third time. No.
Mike has been
No.
cut off so many times tonight.
I know. Why did I pour that in there? That was me.
It was you.
This whole time, I thought you guys could read.
I thought you might want some more just to
iPad.
grade it.
Oh no, we can't.
No.
No.
Oh.
Wait,
Do
what
we have
happened?
comments?
Yeah, every
Oh,
time a
great.
comment comes in, Kyle looks down at the iPad like he's staring at it.
It's not on here.
He's looking for the Jaws music to move on
Yeah.
to the next segment.
This is all just drops. It's boring.
Because that's
The reason I haven't been back.
when all these
There's
comments
100 playing at one time.
when all these comments finally showed up when the screen came unfroze, Carrie asked Kyle, "Guess what I'm making?" And I didn't say
Ooh,
anything.
chili.
She
Send it home with Evie.
Sure.
Isn't Evie coming over Friday?
Yes.
Yes.
See,
That's
why do
the
you,
only reason he's sending his
why do you-
daughter over.
why do you need
Retrieve chili?
why do you need the chat reader behind the computer screen? You guys just have your
I
own
feel like
little
did it
text
stall out because
Well, your daughter's watching his kids. We're going to Coopersville Brewing Company.
you guys are? I'll meet you over there.
That's fair. That's fair. Is everybody graded
This
or
whole
no?
podcast better be going.
It's going.
No, what'd you give it?
Yeah, we're going on over 2 hours.
Come on, let's go.
It's
How
definitely
is that
going.
possible? We almost cut a
Sam,
segment.
what do you think?
We
Yeah.
almost cut a whole segment.
Yeah,
No.
but then it was the
Never
Lions.
You-
and you got-
It went like 30 minutes.
Sam, you had a 20-minute comment on Lions. there.
Remember when he was yelling about draft
Yes,
picks? Yeah.
I
What
thought
they
it was
need to do is stop it.
Especially in June when the
I
heat
think this
rises,
is- Oh,
the
noise.
humidity drops a little bit.
I think this is a good episode, personally.
What about the
gonna
beer,
put
though?
that
Can you
What do you
grade
think
And
the
I
beer?
think this is a great beer too.
It's a good
I
beer.
like what
Ryan.
Ryan
I
said.
agree with
You, Ryan. 8.5. Right on the nose.
I was there for that
All right.
episode.
That was a year ago
I
already?
remember.
Sam was
That's
doing.
not been a year.
Sam was doing keg stands on the Stand Delicious before we got here.
Why was he so
I
mad?
should have saw
You,
it.
Ryan.
I was under the faucet most of the time, not feeling
Oh
that.
Yeah.
man.
Now it all makes sense.
Great beer. 7-8.
That's a great beer for you.
What?
Guys, come on.
That's a great beer for me.
yeah. You don't remember this?
What verbiage?
Yeah, thank you, Ryan.
use?
Like at least Ryan
Verbage.
remembers.
It's usually like,
Garbage.
yes, I would drink this many times over. 5-3.
I want to hear his vocabulary
many
for
times
a
over.
9.
There's only been 1-9.
Outro.
What?
Cue it.
What vocabulary?
Well, you got to
did you
get John's
use?
grade yet.
Vocabulary. That it was fantastic, phenomenal.
8-4.
8-4.
Yep. I'll
Love
throw.
it.
I'll
Can
throw
you
one
turn,
on
can
the,
you
Love
turn
it.
Kyle's mic down so we can get this thing done?
the outro. Yeah, let's turn that music up too. Yeah.
That was episode 143.
About to turn the cameras off.
Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching live.
You're welcome.
Thank you guys for recording. Really appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week, if not sooner.
Peace.
You've been listening to State of My Sports. From the Red Wings to the Lions, to the Tigers to the Pistons, to Michigan and Michigan State, and everything in between, we're talking about it. And don't forget the beer. We hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. In the meantime, hook up with us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch at State of My Sports with an MI. We'll see you next time.